The Orioles are on Masson on a beautiful night downtown Baltimore. The Orioles are getting set to take on the Los Angeles Angels in the finale of this brief two-game series. And hi, everyone. I'm Jim Hunter. The Orioles are looking to bounce back and get a win tonight and earn a two-game split in this two-game series with the Angels. It will be a challenge because they have to face the Angels' ace and Jared Weaver. However, it'll be a challenge for the Angels to try to complete the two-game sweep. And that's because they have to contend with Jason Hamill, who has emerged as the Orioles' most consistent pitcher, the stopper, if you will, on the year. In fact, if you look at his season, he has pitched his best when it has mattered most following an Orioles loss. Now, Hamill is 8-2 on the year, a very impressive ERA of 2.61, but he is 4-1 with an ERA of 2.17 in 7 starts following an Orioles loss as he is pitching here tonight. In fact, his last 3 victories have followed an Orioles loss, and he's trying to duplicate that again tonight and get the Orioles a two-game split. And Jim, it's real nice to know that you have a guy whose turn comes up in the rotation, the one you have the most confidence in, to go out there and try to get you a much-needed win.
Yeah, kind of when you look at the fact that he stopped the losing streaks, good news and bad news. You had the losing streaks, that's the bad news. The good news, Jason's going to pitch. I saw him years ago when he came up with Tampa Bay, when they traded for him, Jeremy Guthrie going out to Colorado, and the Orioles getting Hamill and Lindstrom. 7-13, you're going, boy, I don't know. And then I saw him in spring training, Jim, and, his windup is good. He repeats it. He does exactly what, if you're Buck Showalter, you want a starter to do, which is to give you a chance to win just about every time out. Now, we've seen him, his last 19 scoreless innings now, 18 strikeouts, only 2 walks. So he's done everything you need to do. The thing is, the one thing, and it's a big number, is when you give him that extra day, which he doesn't get, he's 4-0 with an ERA of under 1 run a game. He's pitching on regular rest. He's 3-2 with an ERA of over 4.4 runs. So we'll see, because he's had problems with the knee, if he's able to overcome that against, as you mentioned, Jared Weaver, who can really pitch.
Well, the Orioles have been challenged at the plate as of late. They've had trouble scoring runs, but one player on the year, in fact, right now, he's the Orioles' most consistent hitter, and it's Wilson Betemit. Who would have thought?
Well, they got him because of his on-base percentage. A switch hitter. I think the plan was not to have him play a lot of defense, but because of injuries, he's had to do that. So you can see the recent numbers. He made some adjustments, very consistent. The one number, and you can look at the bottom, and those are the important things because they're playing short with Markakis out. He gives you a switch hitter, better power, 9 of those 10 home runs coming from the left side. So we'll see him batting from the left side tonight against Weaver. So, he's a guy, again, when you're trying to upgrade your offense, on base percentage, that hadn't worked out. The only number that's really kind of down is his runners in scoring position. But then again, if you've been following the Orioles, he's not the only guy having trouble getting the big hit.
Orioles got some men on base last night. They couldn't get the big hit some balls hard right at fielders. Do you believe in law of averages? Is that something that might turn around those loud outs, if you will?
I would believe in the law of average more if Nick Markakis wasn't on the disabled list and Reimold hadn't had neck surgery, because you've lost 2 of your better hitters. But I think they're hitting scared a little bit. Buck Showalter's talked about, but the other part of the coin is they're hitting in bad luck, and then they've seen some good pitching. And tonight's not going to get any easier because Jared Weaver, again, he's a little bit mortal on the road, loves to pitch at home more so, but this is an 18-game winner. He's already pitched a no-hitter, so they'll have their work cut out again tonight.
Yeah, and it has to be a difficult thing for a hitter who has so much confidence going to the plate, where collectively up and down the lineup everybody's cold. Maybe the easy thing is don't think about it. Just go up there and hack.
Well, that's a great point. I think what the Orioles would love to do, because again, the Angels with 17 hits and 4 home runs, they hit the ball harder last night, but the balls that were hit hard off the Oriole bats were caught. So tonight, maybe a couple of bloopers. What do you call them?
Doinks.
Yeah, doinks. The Orioles need to have some doinks because, again, Weaver can be about as good as any pitcher in the American League.
Isn't that amazing how when you look back over the years, sometimes it's those little flares over the outfield or flares over the infield that get you going, and maybe it'll be that way tonight. The Orioles certainly have been getting base runners. Now they have to get him in. We have an outstanding pitching matchup coming up tonight. It's the O's and Angels. Lineups at first pitch are next. Orioles Baseball on Masson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by Jeep. Jeep and the unique brand of freedom you'll find only in the full line of Jeep vehicles. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. It is an absolutely gorgeous night at Oriole Park. Temperatures starting to rise. Some real tough heat is expected here later on in the week. Our train game time temperature. Visit train.com for an independent train comfort specialist dealer near you. It's hard to stop a train. It is 88 degrees. That humidity still is a luscious 24% under partly cloudy skies downtown. So the finale of this two-game series. Here's a look at the Dodge starting lineups for the Angels. See your authorized Dodge dealer and experience a world of performance, design, and fuel efficiency. Schedule a test drive or go to Dodge.com and check out our powerful lineup. Mike Trout, Torrey Hunter, and Albert Pujols up top with Kendrys Morales in the cleanup spot. Big-time career numbers against the Orioles. The switch hitter will be the DH. Mark Trumbull and Alberto Callaspo. Howie Kendrick at Ibar at short. And Bobby Wilson, the catcher, will bat ninth.
And our scouting report on Jason Hamill, 29 years old. Well, he's back on track, trying to get the Orioles back on track. And again, as we told you, after losses 4-1 this year, well, he is at the top of his game. He's been outstanding. Again, the knee, that push-off knee, has been bothering him all year. 19 innings pitched, no earned runs, 18 strikeouts, only a couple of walks. And then how does he do it? Well, he throws 94 to 96, but he's got the big bender. And against the Nationals, against Atlanta, even though he threw probably a few more fastballs down there, he can throw the curveball and seems to be able to get it over at any time. So he will face an Angel team coming off their season high 4 home runs, 17 hits. And over the last 31 games, which they've won 23 of those games, they've scored 5 runs a game. So make your pitches, and his stuff is good enough to get anybody out.
Yeah, that 5 runs a game, that seems to be the magic number. You score 5 or more runs, you got a real good chance to win in the American League. So here we go as Hamill looks to be the Orioles stopper yet again, facing Mike Trout, who is leading the league in hitting, and there is a strike, and we are underway from Camden Yards. Mike Trout at .335, best in the league, 7 home runs, and for the 20-year-old, 29 RBIs.
And that's only since May 1st. And there's the hook, slider, whatever you want to call it. When you're 6'6", and we're going to see 2 of the taller pitchers, Hamill at 6'6", Weaver at 6'7". And again, it's just a quality breaking ball. And I was kind of thinking after watching Washington game, the Atlanta game, if you're the Angels, and of course preparation, such a big important part of hitting and preparing for a game.
0-2 is a called strike. 3 paints the outside corner. There's that pitch you were talking about last night. Umpire sets up inside, calls it outside.
Yeah, well, again, I mean, it's somewhere in the neighborhood, and it ball tailed back. The one thing we've seen from Jason, watch this 2-seam fastball. So it's going to move left and then run back, and you could see the seams spinning that way. So a terrific pitch, maybe a shade off the corner. But certainly close enough, obviously, to call.
And our Nissan pitch track brought to you by Nissan. Close a great deal now on your new Nissan, but hurry. The door to your opportunity closes on July the 2nd. Ball 1 to Torrey Hunter in the number 2 spot. Hamill back at him. That is sliced down the right field line and foul, and a nice grab by the ball boy.
Well, Jim, my point was, you watched last night. Brian Mattis really with all facets of his game, command, stuff, execution, just had a tough night. Now, with Jason Hamill, you can't sit on any one pitch. And we're right there. I mean, there's 94, but it's not just 94. It's hard to see this time of day. He throws downhill, so there's a deception factor. He's got great movement, great velocity, and then in the back of your mind, if you prepared for him, he will throw his breaking ball, and it's a +1 anytime. And there it is. Bounces it, though. I mean, he's thrown at 3-2. It really just doesn't matter. I was talking to him. I said, I pitch with some great pitchers. I'm not sure I've ever seen anybody use their breaking ball in any count as well as you have. And he said, I don't even know sometimes that it's going to go over, but it has been. So he's been on one of those rolls.
2-2 is ripped to left field down the line. That ball is out of here. Out over the plate. Torrey Hunter doesn't miss it. And there's only the 2nd home run allowed by Jason Hamill at Camden Yards, and the Angels grab a 1-0 lead.
Well, he's 4-0 at home, Jim, and we saw last night when Tommy Hunter came out of the bullpen to Mark Trumbull, who's got now 18 home runs. If you hang a curveball and you're late on the fastball, which we saw with Torrey, the bat gets real quick. Now watch this hook. I mean, pretty much center cut. So the bat head, what's the bat head? The black part of the bat. It gets out in front because it's about 9 miles per hour slower. If it's down, very effective. If it's up, trouble.
Albert Pujols takes a strike for Torrey Hunter, number 10, and a 1-0 Angels lead. Pujols at 261. He had 2 hits last night, including a home run. And there's a strike. So the consecutive inning scoreless streak is stopped here in the first inning for Jason Hamill. In his last 2 starts, he pitched the shutout in Atlanta, then 8 innings against the Nationals, in which he allowed 1 unearned run. So the earned run streak is now over on that Torrey Hunter home run. And the 1-2 is too tight. 2-2 on Pujols.
Yeah, Jason's had a year where he's on most occasion, even when he struggled, he's usually been able to stay in the game, where he's pitched well and then they've got him over 5 runs a game. That's a nice little number. And there's the good hook, but you're talking about arguably the best hitter in baseball over the last 11 to 12 years in Albert Pujols, and he just kind of looked at it.
And the 3-2 is hit towards shortstop. Right there's Mr. Hardy, and JJ will get it across for the second out. So Pujols, a dangerous hitter, retired, 2 down.
Take a look at the defense. Again, still not at full strength. So you have Steve Pearce, Adam Jones, 3 years ago a Gold Glover, Chris Davis all over the field playing right, Betemit, Hardy, Roberts, Reynolds, and then the Gold Glover Matt Wieters doing the catching.
Here's Kendrys Morales, the DH. Did not play in the game last night. Takes a fastball for a strike. So Hamill doing a good job on those outer corners. You got Mike Trout on a called strike 3. The right-handed batter took it outside. He gets ahead of Morales on the other side of the plate. And working quickly, and he's ahead of Morales 0-2.
Yeah, so a well-located, well-moving, well-thrown, as far as velocity fastball, can be real effective. And you don't really let the curveball that you hung affect you, because that's part of the game.
Well, there you go. Couldn't catch up to it. He threw it again. He missed it again. So the home run by Torrey Hunter. We go to the bottom of the first. Angels 1. And here come the Birds. Grab a 1-0 lead. Here come the Orioles, bottom of the first. And a look at the Southwest Airlines starting lineups for the Birds. Brian Roberts, J.J. Hardy, and Chris Davis, with Adam Jones in the cleanup spot. Certainly has enjoyed hitting at Camden Yards this year. 313, 8 home runs, and 18 RBIs here at Oriole Park. Matt Wieters and Wilson Betemit, with Mark Reynolds at first. Nick Johnson will DH tonight. Steve Pearce in left field will bat ninth.
And for the Angels, the 29-year-old right-hander, 18-8 last year, mortal on the road. He's 5-0 at home with an 0.7 ERA. That's less than 3/4 of a run a game on the road. 2-1, 421. Stuff, command, and deception. 6'7", throws across his body. He can command his fastball, changeup, and slider with the best of them. And again, because he throws across his body, and then almost perfect no-hitter back on May 2nd. only a walk away from being a perfect game. He can pitch.
Weaver back off the disabled list, and he has picked up where he left off before going on as Roberts takes a strike. 1-1 on Bryan. Weaver, you see the splits. Righties hit him just slightly better than lefties. That's amazing. Holds opponents overall to a 189 batting average as Bryan fouls off the breaking ball. But Weaver, over his last 4 starts, 2-0 with an ERA of 1.29, and those 4 starts coming since his only loss, which was May 13th at Texas.
Yeah, and that's a game I believe he gave up 4 home runs, and then he had to go on the DL, had some hip problems that led to back spasms.
1-2 is inside, close pitch.
He's really not, when you look at the radar gun, not that overpowering. He's going to be 88 to 91, but again, a good changeup, and because he's 6'7" and throws downhill when he's pitching well, tough to read.
2-2 breaking ball, and he swings at it and misses. So Brian Roberts tried to time it there, couldn't catch up to it, so a strikeout and 1 away here in the first.
And Brian's a good breaking ball, but again, when you don't have to throw a strike and the count at 1-2 allows you to do that, watch him throw it just under the strike zone. So you're 6'7", you're throwing downhill. The optics of that, the illusion, you don't find too many guys that throw from that arm angle.
J.J. Hardy now, and he looks over a fastball for a strike, and here's a guy that needs a doink. J.J. 3 for his last 40. That's a 0.75 clip. And he looks at it down and in.
Yeah, and he wanted that. The first one again, I mean, J.J. is about as good a fastball hitter as there is, 88 inside middle. And again, because of the arm angle, the deception.
This one's hit the center field and deep. Back out it is Trout. Back it goes. It is caught. Oh, what a catch by Mike Trout. Takes a home run away from J.J. Hardy. What a play by the 20-year-old in center field, and you bet he's smiling. And a tip of the cap from Weaver. 2 men down. Wow.
Yeah, to the biggest part of the ballpark. And he makes it look, I mean, this is tremendous vertical leap. Body control terrific. You don't find too many outfielders. Doesn't matter. Paul Blair could do this. Watch him control his body so he doesn't actually hit the fence, because if he hits the fence, the recoil is going to knock him back. And then right softly against it. What a catch. Tying run. It kind of gives you an idea that. So why wouldn't he be happy? He's 20 years old.
Making plays like that.
He had about 1,000 of his town people from New Jersey here yesterday, and they're probably still in town.
The 0-1 to Chris Davis is inside. And here's another hitter who can use a doink. Chris 0 for his last 29 with 10 strikeouts. His batting average has fallen from 312 to its current 272. And, you know, we're here early every day, and he is working so hard to just try to find something. Yesterday it was the drills on the field to keep the swing short. And one of the rounds with Jim Presley, he even batted right-handed. And I asked Presley about that. He said just to change it up a little bit. And he hooks it in the right field. There's a base hit. And there's the end of the offer. A big turnaround first, and he'll settle for a 2-out single. So there you go. A nice easy swing. You hook it into the corner. There goes the 0 for 29. Now he's 1 for 1.
And he gets a good pitch to hit. It usually starts with that. Watch this curveball. And this is pretty much what J.J. Hardy got to hit, a hanging breaking ball. Hardy got robbed of the home run. And watch the head, though. Watch him stay behind the ball. And again, Chris Davis is a big, strong guy, and he just was able to stay back enough. And Albert Pujols, he had that kind of April. I don't care how good you are, sometimes you get in those kind of slumps. No home runs and 93 at bats for a guy they gave $240 million to.
So Adam Jones comes up with the mat on. Weaver from the stretch for the first time, and a hard hit ball, base hit down the left field line. 3 hard hit balls in a row. Davis heading for third. Let's see what DeMarlo Hale does. He's sending him. Digging it out is Trumbo. Here comes the relay throw to the plate. He is safe at the plate. He got the foot in ahead of the tag. And we are tied in the first. A 2-out rally for the Birds. So Davis gets on and Jones delivers.
Well, take a look right here. He misses his target by about 1.5 feet. It's a screamer down the line, and they actually get to it very quickly. Tough corner here at Camden Yards. So Chris Davis, he knows. He can see right there. You could see him. He's checking out DeMarlo Hale. I mean, see, the throw's just high enough. High bar, a nice throw, but a high throw. And you could see Wilson trying to get the legs down, but impossible to do that because of the height of the throw. So there you go. Easily could be 2-1 Orioles. That's the way they're hitting Weaver here in the first.
Adam Jones now with a 5-game hitting streak picks up his 41st RBI, and the Orioles tie it here against Weaver. Matt Wieters with a chance to give the Orioles the lead. Throw back to second base. It bounces and he gets his hand back in as a result. Ibar snuck in behind him. A good throw. It would have been closer.
Yeah, great way to get out of the first inning if you can pull it off. It's spring training right there. And they almost pick him off. Yeah, the little daylight play. If you look at Ibar, a lot of times he'll creep behind him. When you see the left glove, you turn and fire. So we've seen Weaver, who's a command guy. We talked about stuff, command, and deception. Well, you can be deceptive, but he doesn't throw that hard. He has to stay out of the middle of the plate, and he hasn't done it here in the first.
And falls behind Matt Wieters 2-0. Jones to go ahead and run at second here in the first inning. And a ground ball towards second base. Right there is Howie Kendrick. He'll get Wieters, and that ends the inning. But the Orioles get right back. They answer Weaver. 2-out base hit by Jones will lead to the second in a 1-1 game at Camden Yards. Luna, call for the Luna double and get your second room of flooring free. 877-241-LUNA. And the double there in hits. Davis singles with 2 down to keep it going. Adam Jones doubles with 2 down to get Davis in to tie the game. The deuces were wild in the first for the Orioles.
And Trout takes away a run with a magnificent catch off the bat of J.J. Hardy. Well, there you go. What did Adam Jones talk about? He said, you know what? Just mattered. Hey, we got him on last night. C.J. Wilson before the game talking about the fact didn't have my best stuff. Still won for the 9th time. But the Orioles had a runner at third in less than 2 outs 3 times. Just couldn't get him in.
Mark Trumbo swinging a foul back at a big healthy cut.
Well, that's what he does. 29 home runs last year in his rookie year. Look at these numbers in the last 27 games. And again, we told you that the Angels are playing really well. On the road, 12 out of 13.
So let me get this straight. He leads the league in healthy cuts.
Well, I don't think that's ever been a problem. The problem was that he did have one of those plantar fasciitis things just from being on his feet too much. So he missed working out. He missed really going into spring training, and they tried to move him to third base because of the Pujols signing. But the one thing they didn't like about him, Jim, if you look at his numbers, you like the 29 home runs. You'd like the 87 RBIs he was able to put on the board last year. He didn't like the on-base percentage.
Trumbo, 26 years old, born right there in Anaheim. What a great story. Hamill deals the 1-2, and he popped him up. Roberts backpedals. Here comes Jones charging in. Adams says, I'll take it. And he does, and there's the out, and one away here in the second inning. Inside the Numbers brought to you by Kia Motors. To learn more, visit kia.com. Well, career at home with Tampa Bay 12 starts, with Colorado 45, with the Orioles 6. And Jim, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I do believe he loves his new home field. Look at that, 2.03 and 4-0 at Oriole Park.
And this is not what, unless you have this kind of stuff, this is not a pitcher's ballpark. It's a hitter's park. I think he just, first of all, he's 29, so he didn't know what he was doing when 10th round draft choice when he was in Tampa. And Jim Hickey, the pitching coach down there, said he came up before the Joe Madden era. So he didn't get trained like Price and Hellickson and Wade Davis, those type of pitchers. So it took him a while to really learn what he's doing. And so again, then you go to Colorado, and in that environment, who knows if you're pitching well or not. Your two-seamer doesn't two-seam, curveball doesn't curve as well.
2-1 on Casper.
But whoever touted, Dan Duquette comes on, whoever suggested that Jason Hamill put on an Oriole uniform made the right call, because he's been terrific.
And just outside. Now that's a pitch the pitcher should get tonight, because with Kerwin Danley umpiring down on a knee, that pitch low in the strike zone is coming right to his view.
But except it was low.
3-1, and I guess that's high.
Yeah.
And down it goes. Well, along the lines of Jason Hamill turning it around, and Wired Wednesday, we spoke with the skipper Buck Showalter, and I asked him, why has it come together now for Jason Hamill at this time on this team?
They want results. It's at the end of the day, how many runs did you give up and how many did you score? We understand we don't have to have anybody tell us. They know exactly what's good and what's going well, and they understand it. I go in there and start ranting and raving and fall underneath the no kidding standpoint. You can't state the obvious all the time because they understand that. But they know that, we're going to help them work through it, and they'll reach back for this when things are going well and realize how fleeting it can be.
And that is a real good point, because for a guy like Jason Hamill, yes, he wants results. He had to learn. He went to Colorado where nobody wants to pitch, and he had to pitch there. Now he comes to a ball club. There's a lot of enthusiasm. He wants to do well. He wants to win, and he's doing it. He's succeeding.
And then Rick Adair gives him the two-seam fastball. He had the big overhand curveball, so he's got movement, and he's always had the velocity. I saw him throw early in the spring training, and I was surprised that, because not too many guys that are 6'6", there is his pitching coach, that can repeat their windup, and he can do that because he's very athletic. So you give him the two-seamer, so you get a little more movement, and he's still able to throw it with very good velocity, 93 to 95. He's got a four-seamer, and then he's got a change-up, curveball, and slider, so 4 pitches.
Double play ball to Brian Roberts. Good job by Porter, the umpire, to get out of the way. That goes 4-6-3, and it ends the inning. So Jason Hamill gets past the one-out walk. Middle of the second at Camden Yards in a 1-1 game. A cold one to look forward to Miller time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Jason Hamill, the one-out walk, and he gets the double play ball. A 1-1 game, so Jason, 28 pitches through 2 innings.
Yeah, that's a big pitch when, you can throw that ground ball, and, again, we talked about the fact that he gets that extra day. His ERA under a run a game, so want to keep the pitch down, and he's thrown a lot of pitches in his last 2 games.
Wilson Betemit leads off the Orioles second, takes ball 1. Betemit, as we told you, on a real good run here, 6-game hitting streak. And a good eye there, and he takes it low, 2-0.
Well, just notice how much more upright that he is. And I was talking to him today, and I said, well, so all of a sudden you get real hot. He said, well, I was bending over, and I was having to come up and out and moving my head. Now all of a sudden, and we saw Aubrey Huff do this probably, about 4 years ago, at 82 extra base hits. And it was Terry Crowley then that said, hey, just get a little bit taller. You're a big guy, and Wilson is a big guy.
Yep.
When he was down, he was moving too much. He couldn't get the bat. Tim Presley said, hey, let's lower your hands a little bit. So all of a sudden, we always talk about this being a game of adjustment. Wilson's a veteran hitter, switch hitter. They got him because he knows how to hit, and that's what he's been doing as of late.
He's always in a good mood, too, which is great. You're surrounded by the batting cage. He always goes out of his way to say hello. Well, I understand that, but he's...
I know. Yeah.
There's a strike to Mark Reynolds.
That's a good point. It's not. I mean, there are a few guys that aren't real happy to be up here. At least that's their persona. What he was in, he signed when he was 16.
Right. Well, actually, he was really 15.
Okay. Well,
Braves got in trouble for that. That hurt. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Well, you hope it's not the hand or the wrist, but I'm afraid it was. Fastball up and in, and that's not good. Had to get that left wrist. Oh, maybe the chest. Ooh, that's not too particularly good either.
So the hit by pitch will put 2 on with none out. Reynolds trying to shake it off. Richie Bancells and Buck Showalter attending to him.
I'm going to take a look. I thought it got him in the wrist. No, right. Oh,
right on the pectoral muscle.
He was winged. It's a bird getting winged right here in the O. Well, the good thing is, I don't know if it's good. It's easy for me to say it's good because I'm up here in the booth, but it's a lot better than getting hit on the wrist or the hand.
So down to first base, and you can see he is in some discomfort.
Oh, I would imagine. And that, again, he's playing first, not third, so that's your throwing arm.
Betemit to second, Reynolds to first. Here's Nick Johnson, who is DHing tonight.
And he's getting some compassion for Albert Pujols, who had a broken wrist last year getting hit.
There's a strike on the outer edge.
Well, that was actually on the line of the other batter's box. Now, you tell me how you can possibly, if you sit down on one knee, see that outside corner. I mean, look how far inside Kerwin Danley gets. And you have one of the most disciplined hitters on the Orioles at the plate. And Nick Johnson, he knew that was a ball. So what's Jared Weaver going to do? He's going to stay out there. And Nick's going to have to expand that outside corner. And when you do that, that leaves the inside corner vulnerable. And also, Weaver can throw that changeup and that curveball at any time. Boy, there's such a big difference. And I know, because when you get that borderline pitch that turns it from 1-0 to 0-1.
And it's a little low. And 1-2 the count. Nick Johnson 0 for 2 on the homestand. He is 3 for 10 over his last 11 games. Buck Showalter getting in there tonight against the right-hander. Weaver, like Wilson last night, keeps the ball in the ballpark. He's allowed only 5 home runs on the year. Of course, when you got Mike Trout leaping over fences to bring them back in.
Well, the other thing he does, and we saw C.J. Wilson do it, again, runners in scoring position, 206. For his career, I mean, we're talking career. 224. And the league average usually every year is around 260, somewhere in the 260 to 268 range. So that's an amazingly low number.
1-2, 2 on and none out. And a pop foul back out of play. By the way, the Orioles did make that roster move today. The Buck Showalter talked about yesterday. As Matt Lindstrom is back, he has been activated from the disabled list, and the Orioles have a crowded bullpen tonight to make room. Steve Tollefson has been sent back to AAA, and Buck Showalter said before the game, there's Matt in the bullpen. They want Tollefson to get some more at-bats. He wasn't playing as much as he was, and he wants him to get some at-bats, so he'll go down and play every day for AAA Norfolk. The 1-2, and he waves at it, and down on strikes goes Johnson, one away.
So this is why it's so hard to hit with 2 strikes. You get a little extra on the outside corner, and then he makes the perfect pitch. Trying to hold up, I don't think it would have made a difference right on the inside corner, and this is what Jared Weaver's about. In and out, slow the bat down, speed it up. And a very deceptive angle, especially if you're right-handed, because he's stepping right at you. And he's way on that right side, the third base side of the rubber. So he is stepping right into the middle of the right-handed batter's box.
Steve Pearce now 1 down. And he swings through it. Steve Pearce has really given the Orioles a boost. Last night, hit his first home run since June the 14th against the Pirates. His second as an Oriole. He's got 11 RBIs with his 14 base hits since joining the Orioles. He's 3 for 11 on the homestand. And lays off the high fastball, 1-1.
Yeah, you can see what the game plan is. I think the world knows that Steve Pearce can hit the heater, the fastball. That's what he hit off Wilson when it was 3-0, 3-1 fastball, clubbed it to left center field. Doesn't miss too many heaters. It's the breaking ball they try to get him out with. And there's another one.
And it's too high.
And that's really what pitching's all about. You have a game plan. If you're Steve Pearce, you certainly know what Jared Weaver can do. You haven't really seen him a lot. And Jared Weaver, he paid attention last night. He knows Steve Pearce is a better fastball hitter. Let's see what he does now that he's behind. It usually doesn't matter. He'll throw that breaking ball at any count.
Peek back at Betamete. And he pops him up. Shallow left. And here comes Trumbo. And the left fielder calling off Ibar, and 2 men down. So 2 on with none out. Now 2 on with 2 men down. And Jared Weaver, he has a variety of pitches. I mean, how many fingers does Bobby Wilson have? Well, hopefully he has 5.
Well, he's got the cutter. I mean, he's got, a changeup, curveball, fastball, and slider. Those are your 4. Then he's got the cut fastball. So again, the cutter is almost the same speed. Usually it's a little bit slower than your fastball, but for Jared, it's the same velocity, but it gets a little bit more movement. And I was talking to Mike Socia today, who manages the Angels. He said the cutter's a great pitch if you can command your stuff. And again, you have to look. I mean, Jared Weaver was 18-8. He is 7-1. He has pitched a no-hitter. He can command it. So for him, it's a great pitch.
Brian Roberts up for a second time. Struck out in the bottom of the first. And it's outside, 1-0. And Weaver, I don't blame him. If he's going to get that call, he's going to live out there. That one was low, I guess, and Brian took it for ball 1. Weaver averages 7 strikeouts per 9 innings while walking 2. In fact, he averages more strikeouts per game than he does base hits allowed. He's averaging 6 hits per 9 innings. In fact, Jim, you and I talked about this last night. One of the most important statistics for a starter: how many men do you let on base? If they can't get on, they can't score. He allows 8.16 runners per 9 innings, the fewest of any starter in Major League Baseball, both leagues. That is incredible. 8.16. And the Orioles in this game have already had 4 base runners. 2-0 on Roberts. And a strike taken on the outside corner. Brian doesn't like the call.
Oh, it's outside.
It's going to be one of those nights.
And again, you better get used to it, because it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's pathetically outside. But you have to understand, it's going to be Curlin Danley's strike zone all night long. So you can complain whether you're pitching or you're hitting, but that's the way it's going to be. Should it be that way? Absolutely not. Why is hitting down? Because of the strike zone from a guy like Curlin Danley. And I would tell you right now, if he umpires like this most of the time, I would bet would be in that classification, and they do keep these numbers. that he is a pitcher's umpire because of the size of his strike zone. Every time they pitch a no-hitter, I go and look at the box scores to see who was umpiring. Not to take anything away from Jared when he pitched his or any of the other no-hitters, perfect games this season.
3-1 is popped up. Charging in is Cayaspo. Ibar there. Ibar calls him off, and he makes the catch. So Weaver gets out of a big jam. 2 on with none down. Birds don't score. We head to the third, tied at 1. Angels, Jared Weaver against Jason Hamill. Real good pitchers duel beginning to develop. Some close pitches each way early on. And how about Mike Trout goes back and robs J.J. Hardy of a home run, double play ball by Jason Hamill. And we'll head to the third inning in a 1-1 game. Orioles looking to get even in this series and earn the 2-game split. Angels beginning a long road trip. They're trying to get the 2-game sweep.
Yeah, they're off to Toronto and then Cleveland. And then the Orioles meet them for 4 right before the All-Star break in Anaheim after going to Seattle.
Hamill has now thrown strike 1 to 6 of the first 8 batters. His Ibar falls behind, and this is a Jim Palmer stat. When he's gone 0-1 to the hitters he's gotten all of them out. When he's gone 1-0, he's given up a home run and a walk. So there's the big difference early with that first pitch, whether you get ahead or fall behind. Ball and a strike on Ibar. Wilson on deck, then Mike Trout in the Angels' third. And a little bit low off speed pitch.
Yeah, a little good, pretty good take there. And that's the pitch that the Nationals were swinging at, same down in Atlanta. So apparently Eric able to identify it early. That's what hitting's all about.
This is high, ball 3. Ibar's hitting 11 straight games. Longest by an Angel this year, and the longest for him since his career high 15-game hitting streak last year, August 19th through September 5th. And a big bouncer to Brian Roberts at second base. He plays that one shoulders high, and they'll get Ibar for the out. So one away here in the third. The Maryland Lottery strike-it rich contestant of the game is Janice Retrosa from Havre de Grace. It's Janice, actually. Janice has won $500 for every strikeout. It's a new name. $500 for every strikeout the Orioles pitch during the game tonight. And Janice will win $100 more from the Maryland Lottery. See how you can turn non-winning strike-it-rich scratch-offs into cash and enter to win great Orioles prizes. MDLottery.com/strike-it-rich.
Well, being Italian, you had no problem with the last name.
No problem with the last name.
That Janice, that a little road bump for you, wasn't it?
But I recovered. Here's Bobby Wilson, and 1-1 the count. Hamill trying to win his 9th on the year. Began the night 6th in the American League in ERA at 2.61. Good looking breaking ball. Wilson freezes there and takes it for a strike.
Yeah, that's kind of, and he could say it backs up. In other words, it's supposed to go away, but again, the spin's just enough. That's why he had his shaking his head a little bit.
And a chopper towards the middle, and Hardy gets to it. He turns and throws and got him! Oh, J.J. Hardy takes a hit away from Bobby Wilson. What range up the middle, then had to turn his body and a perfect throw to first.
Yeah, the infield a little bit harder than normal here. So this ball, a little Baltimore chop. There you go. Hips going and shoulders going to left field. And again, talk about core strength. Not only that, it's a perfect throw. I was listening to the Atlanta game. This is no reflection on Joe Simpson because he doesn't get to see JJ. He said, yeah, you know, a really good hitter, hitting shortstop and an average fielder. And going well, but he, again, to his credit, he doesn't get to see JJ. He had the best, the best range, the best numbers of any American League shortstop last year, defensively.
And a base hit in the right field for Mike Trout. So the league's leading hitter gets a 2-out single here in the third inning. Fans, don't forget voting ends at midnight tonight for the 2012 All-Star Game, and Adam Jones is in striking distance of earning a spot for the American League. So get online and vote. Orioles.com/All-Star. Vote orange and support Adam. You can vote up to 25 times per email address. Voting closes at midnight. Vote orange now at Orioles.com/All-Star.
That is the 19th hit for Mike Trout to right field. 21 up the middle, 32 to left. I almost think you have to, if you're going to pitch him that way, you have to play him like a left-handed pull hitter because he hits the ball inside out with the best of them, especially for a 20-year-old kid.
And now you have to be concerned about him trying to steal second because he also leads the American League in steals with 21. Does not go. The pitch to Hunter is outside, 1-0.
Yeah, the numbers since Mike Trout was called, and you talked about it last night, hitting over 400 at Salt Lake City, is 35 and 19. So he comes up, he starts the offense. Then you get Albert Pujols, who hit all kinds of home runs in the month of May after not homering in April. And you got yourself an offense.
Here's the 1-0, and it's outside, ball 2. And by the way, with that voting for the All-Star Game, it's actually midnight tomorrow. So you'll have the rest of today and then all of tomorrow, and then when it's midnight, that's it. So you have a little extra time, so get those votes in. I did it the other day at home to see how easy it was. I got some help from my son. Did it on my phone. So you have another extra day, so please, we encourage you to vote. 2-0 pitch is a called strike at 2-1.
So again, Mike Scioscia moves Torrey Hunter, the veteran, closing in on 300 lifetime home runs into the second spot exactly because of this situation. Good fastball hitter. Not that he can't hit a hanging breaking ball because we've already seen that. That's what the home runs are. But with Trout on, you're going to see a lot of fastballs.
Trout bluff going, pitches low, ball 3.
And again, you get pitchers, even though the one thing about Jason Hamill, for being 6'6", they don't run very often. Only 7 attempts all year long. A lot of that has to do with Matt Wieters, his ability to throw out runners. But you better get the ball to Wieters in a hurry, or otherwise Trout is going to steal a base.
3 balls and a strike.
So that takes you out of your rhythm if you're pitching.
Trout's running, and the pitch is high, ball 4, and there's a 2-out walk.
So again, you get Trout sets up this whole inning with 2 outs by singling on a pretty good pitch the other way. Then you worry about him stealing, and now you got Albert Pujols with 1, and we saw it last night. He turned a 3-0 game into a 5-0 game with 1 swing.
Albert Pujols now grounded out his first at bat. Jason Hamill trying to get out of the inning.
And Albert, who came in, and again, remember Albert playing for the Cardinals, Jason in the National League with Colorado, 2 for 4 coming in, but no home runs.
And the breaking ball for a strike, 0-1.
When you watch Albert Pujols hit, and when he was with the Cardinals, their spring training facility about maybe 20 minutes from where I live, and Mark McGuire said, watch how quiet his head is.
And then watch the bat head, the brown part of the bat. The plane stays on top of the ball as well as anybody. The ability to have bat head awareness. In other words, where the barrel of the bat is, because that's how you hit it.
Well, his home run against the Orioles last night leaves the Texas Rangers and the Cardinals. Of course, he used to play for the Cardinals, the only two teams he hasn't homered against in the regular season. He has homered against Texas in the World Series. So his former team,
he hit 3 in one game.
Here's the hot zone, Mr. Hall of Famer. How would you pitch him?
Then again, remember, he didn't hit a home run in April, or there'd be more hot zones on there.
Yeah, he likes it out over the plate. Well, that one bounces. Nice block by Weeder.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because I said, not that the Cardinals, they led the National League in runs last year. I said, why do they ever pitch to him? And Mark McGwire said, well, I'll tell you why. Because you can throw a ball 3, 4, 5 inches off the outside corner, and he'll hit it over the right center field fence. So even when you think sometimes, I'm not saying that's what Jason Hamill's trying to do here, you're trying to pitch around him, he still hits it because his plate coverage is so good.
And 3-1. Here's his home run from last night, and this one took off. It was his 12th on the year, and look at that, right out over the plate. Maybe about thigh high, and look at there's the still head you're talking about.
Yeah. And he just watches it soar out of here. Really good pitch to hit.
2 on, 2 out, 3-1 on Pujols. And it's outside, ball 4. Just drops the bat and goes to first, so the bases are loaded.
Well, I know he really didn't want to walk him, but I think when and sometimes you have to do this. This is a very calculated risk in a 1-1 ball game. But the way that Kendrys Morales went after his stuff, who do you really want to pitch to? And it can backfire. And for the Angels, they're looking at these pitch counts, and they're liking it because they want Hamill out of the game early. Not to the back end of the Oriole bullpen, but maybe to the middle.
Morales fouls it off, 0-1. Well, the Orioles, with that player move made today, have a 9-man bullpen tonight because Matt Lindstrom has been added and Tommy Hunter again assigned to the bullpen. So there's the 2 left-handers and 7 right-handers available. Almost no room on that bench.
Well, Morales, a switch hitter with good power from this side of the plate. And good take there. Before the broken foot, you go all the way back to 2009. He had 34 home runs, 32 hitting left-handed. And then the home run the next year, and on the celebration, fractured the foot, and it's taken him this long to get back into action.
Ground ball towards the middle. There's a base hit with 2 down to give the Angels the lead. Here's Trout to score, Hunter right behind him, and it's a 3-1 game. So the walks in the inning have hurt Jason Hamill.
Yeah, the lack of command, and again, you try to pick your poison. And this time, Morales, but look where the target is, and he just misses. He misses by about 6 inches, and that's all it takes, pretty much down the middle of the plate. Kendrys couldn't get to the fastball away. This time he gets one. Routine ground ball, but hit hard enough up the middle to put 2 on the board for the Angels. And it doesn't get any easier as Rick Adair comes out to have a little conference with Jason Hamill. Again, remember, with the extra day, lights out. When he pitches with only 4 days in between, which is the case now, he's battled a knee problem all year long. His numbers much more hittable. ERA of almost 4.5 runs a game, record at 3-2. And the other way, 4-0 with an 0.68 ERA with that extra day.
So Buck Showalter's club falls behind 3-1. The 2-out single by Trout got it going, but the back-to-back walks following the single have made the inning for the Angels because Morales delivers a 2-out 2-run single. Here's Trumbo. And he takes a strike in the outside corner and doesn't think so. Hamill now has 2 strikeouts, but he has walked 3 for the season. He has averaged 3 walks per 9 innings. Late on the swing, foul tip, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, I was asking Mark Trumbull about the on-base percentage because, again, you hit 29 home runs in your rookie year. That's a pretty good year, 87 RBIs. He said, I'm not a film guy. You think, now because you have all this access to all the film, he said there's nothing like going up to the plate and seeing for yourself how the ball moves and what the velocity is.
0-2 is hit to shortstop. Hardy has it. He'll go to Roberts for the force on Kendrys Morales, and the inning ends. So the Angels get a big hit. They strand 2 and led to the bottom of the third. 3-1 Angels. Baseball on Masson is brought to you by Verizon Fios. Introducing Verizon Fios Quantum Speed, internet twice as fast as anything America has ever seen. And by the new summer barbecue menu at Burger King. Let's have a barbecue today. Or tonight. A beautiful night outside.
Yeah, the temperature really came up, but as you mentioned, luscious humidity. You really like that lack of humidity, don't you?
Absolutely. Great weather to sit outside, walk the dogs.
It's only going to be, I think, 104 by Saturday. How's this happening? It was the most beautiful day in the history of Baltimore yesterday.
Yep.
Everybody would want to live here if the weather was like yesterday.
That's why I live here.
For one day a year?
No, I live here all year.
I know.
Line drive caught by the shortstop Ibar. Oh, what is J.J. Hardy to do? 2 outstanding swings. He hits it hard, and he's 0 for 2.
Well, yeah, you mentioned that Jim Presley, Oriole hitting instructor, said just go up, have a good time, and whack it somewhere, and he's done it 2 for 2. And can't do anything about it. 2 quality at bats, nothing to show for it. Trout's going to be, Trout's catch of that home run or potential home run was one of the best ones I've ever seen, because he had to go so far and somehow catch the ball over the wall and still hit the wall and not have it come loose.
Chris Davis takes a strike. So JJ, instead of 2 for 2 with a home run and an RBI, extends his streak. He's now 3 for his last 42.
I remember when Boog Powell used to get into a slump, didn't have too many of them, and they would go, hang with him, Boog, hang with him, big boy. And he says, if I hear one more, hang with him.
Davis slaps it the other way to stay alive at 0-2. Chris broke his 0 for 29 with a 2-out single in the first inning. It's his first hit since the 4th inning of the June 14th game against the Phillies. Inside, and a ball and 2 strikes. Buck Showalter talking with Nick Johnson. Weaver slowed down the pace a bit here. 1 down. Strike 3 called.
Yep, huge plate. And Jared Weaver's going to take advantage of it. And why not? He's what? He's in the middle of the other batter's box, right on the white line.
Well, tonight's pitch track is brought to you by Infinity, luxury cars that deliver inspire.
And to me, obviously, I pitched. If you got those, you'd be the happiest guy in the world if you're going to give you a ball 4, 5, 6 inches off the plate. I just can't understand. I mean, and I know I say this, it's not Kerwin Danley, because, again, accountability. Whoever his supervisor shouldn't be allowing this to happen. It's not about him. The point is, Kerwin, you can't call pitches. Well, you can, obviously, because he is, but this is not the way the game's supposed to be played. Not because I broadcast, whether...
Adam Jones, left center field. Trumbo moves over. He'll get to it, and he has it for the out. So a 3-up, 3-down inning, including a called strike 3. We played 3 at Camden Yards. 3-1 Angels. Two-run single in the third that broke the 1-all tie and gave the Angels the lead, but he is real good at retiring the first batter of innings. Now this year in the American League, Hamill has the highest percentage of retiring leadoff hitters, 76.09%. And tonight, leadoff hitters have gone 0 for 3 in the first 3 innings of this game.
Yeah, Jason, of course, the 2-out hit by Trout and the back-to-back walks and the hit by Morales. That's been his problem, and then the hanging curveball. But again, this is why he's 8-2. Normally, very good command.
Callaspo will lead it off and takes ball 1 outside. Hamill threw 28 pitches combined in the first 2 innings, 27 pitches in the third.
Alberto has always liked to hit against the Orioles. Switch hitter, 324 lifetime. And so we saw Mesa Asturias play last night, and then you get another switch hitter tonight. Pretty good defensive player. There's the sky hook. What a good curveball that was. That's what we're used to seeing.
So 1-2 the count on Callaspo. That ball's ripped to right field, and that's a base hit. That gets down for a hit and goes against the wall. Davis digs it out. Callaspo heads to second, slides in with a double. So on a 1-2 pitch, a double to right field to lead off the inning for Callaspo. This day in baseball history brought to you by Ocean City, Maryland. Make memories of your own this summer. Book your vacation at OCOcean.com. Well, 1980, the Dodgers' Jerry Royce no-hit the Giants 8-0. And in 1986, Robbie Thompson of the Giants set a major league record. He was caught stealing 4 times in a game against Cincinnati. Now Kendrick now, and he takes inside. Mike Scioscia now with a lead. Can go a number of different ways. His team leads the American League in sacrifices.
Hey, I would think he'd be shooting the ball into right, which is one of his strengths. You can tell the Angels they're kind of, and we talked about this last night, they're playing as if all cylinders on go. I think most people expected them to pitch well because they had the best pitching in the American League last year. They do again. 6-14 start, didn't score a lot of runs.
And there's a base hit to left center field. That's going to get another run in. Cayaspo rounds third and heads for the plate. And on at first with an RBI single is Howie Kendrick.
Yeah, this is not a good team to have a lack of command, and that's been the case for Jason Hamill. Unable to get a good fastball to Cayaspo. He doubles, and watch this hanging curveball. This is very similar. And once again, you can see Howie Kendrick stay inside it. Still trying to shoot it to right. He gets the bonus, the single and the RBI.
And our pitch tracks brought to you by Kia Motors. To learn more, visit kia.com. Here's Ibar, number 8 batter.
And he'll be trying to hit the ball in the hole. Try to create the first and third.
So the Angels have scored in 3 of their first 4 at-bats. Last night they scored in 5 of their 9 at-bats.
Well, as we mentioned, they're averaging 5 runs a game over the last 31. That's a month.
There's a bouncer towards Hardy. The flip to Roberts out there. Back to first. Safe at first base is Ibar. So he hustled down the line from the left-handed batter's box. So it's a fielder's choice and 1 away.
Yeah, you look at Eric Ibar, not a good base running play last night, but he has speed. You think you might turn it. He just outruns it. And then he's a good shortstop. And you can see easily by the bag.
So 1 down. Here's Bobby Wilson, the catcher.
Now don't be surprised if he doesn't bunt. Oh, way outside.
Yeah, he has 7 sacrificed bunts on the year.
And the reason I say that is because you have, again, the leading hitter on deck. You'd like to add to the run. You already got 4 on the board. If you pitch around Trout, you already have Hunter, who has walked and homered. You've got a lot of options if you're Mike Scioscia.
Ibar does run. Pitch is swung on and fouled straight down at the plate. So a hit and run. Well, we'd like to send our get well message tonight to James Edrington of Lutherville. He's a friend of the Orioles organization, recently underwent surgery. We wish him a speedy recovery and hope to see him out here at the ballpark very soon. So good luck, James, and we hope you have a real fast recovery. One and one on Bobby Wilson. A run in, 1 on and 1 down. Hamill tosses to first. Ibar dives back in. Against Jason Hamill this year, 4 steals and 3 caught stealings.
Yeah, Ibar 5 out of 6.
One and one on Wilson, who's the number 9 batter. Ibar runs, pitches hit, base hit left field. And Ibar easily will make it to third with his speed as Pierce plays it back into second base.
Well, the numbers apparently aren't lying about not getting that extra day, and just not that little extra. And the Angels not missing them.
There's the pitch count on the night, 66, 73% fastballs, and Jason Hamill in a jam here. And here's the opponent batting average by the pitch count.
Well, again, we've told you that he comes in at 8-2. I mean, great numbers, low ERA, and he's been able to steadily keep the numbers. So, when you look at pitches 61 to 75, if you look right here, that's probably an aberration, because when he gets to 76 to 90, it goes all the way down to 152. But tonight, again, not that little extra. And this is not a good team not to be at your best.
Matt Lindstrom just activated from the disabled list. He's ready to go, and he's getting loose. 9-man bullpen tonight for the Orioles. This is a huge moment in this game because the Angels already have a run in. It's 4-1. It is first and third and only one down. Mike Trout singled and scored in the third, called out on strikes in the first. And with Trout, you cannot assume a double play because of his speed.
No, not at all. What you can, and we've seen Jason Hamble again with 10 strikeouts in his last game, a couple of games of 10. If you could get ahead thinking maybe strikeout, Mike Trout a little over 200 at bats, 44 strikeouts. So that's a good curveball, and he's still able to hack. What I like about him, he's going to hit home runs. He has 7 of them without trying to hit home runs. But he does use the whole field, and again already 19 of his hits to right field, 18 up the middle, 23 to left. So,
and there's a lot of room on that right side because Reynolds is holding the bag at first.
Well, he hits the ball so sharply, and then the speed factor.
The 1-1 is popped foul wide of first. Reynolds will run out of room. So the Angels with Mike Trout, the rookie, highest batting average all time through the team's first 74 games. Mike Trout at .335 now holds it, and he holds it by a lot. David Eckstein batted .307 back in 2001. Wally Joyner and Dave Chalk back in 1974.
Yeah, Joyner at 86 was rookie of the year. I think he had 21 home runs. He hit 16 the first half. And the league adjusted a little bit.
1-2 pitch is fouled off.
Yeah, just think if what Terry Crowley, the Oriole former pinch hitter, great hitting stroke, used to say, it takes about what, 1,500 at bats to really.
Yeah. He shortened the curve.
Oh, as did Bryce Harper, as did a lot of players. We talked about Frank Robinson hit 38 home runs when he was 20. That's what Mike Trout is. Frank didn't run quite as quickly. But then again, when you're on your way to 586 home runs, you can trot a little bit.
1-2 on Trout. Hamill trying to work out of this jam. And a tapper out in front of the plate. Hamill will have no play. It's a swinging bunt base hit and RBI. And that's what speed can do. He knew he had no play at first, and when he looked up at the plate, Ibar was already sliding in.
Yeah, you do everything you want, Jason Hamill. You throw him a good curveball, and then he just hits the infield roller. And again, good base running. Ibar, again, with the good secondary lead, with good speed. You can't throw him out. It's like he got the roll at halfway to the mound, and there's Eric Ibar to make it 5-1.
Here's Torrey Hunter, and he takes a strike. Well, they'll give you an idea of how uncharacteristic this is for Jason Hamill. He came into this game tonight averaging 10.1 base runners per 9 innings. He's already allowed 10 base runners tonight through 3 1/3. And it's a 5-1 lead for the Angels, and a foul. That got a piece of Wieters, and it's 0-2.
Well, you'd like to make, and I know it, if you're sitting at home, you're going, oh, well, this game is over. Well, it's not, because Weaver doesn't have his best stuff. Now, they have a very good bullpen, especially the back end of it. Orioles, Lindstrom still throwing. So if you can make a pitch here, you got to stop the bleeding. We always talk about that, but this is certainly a critical time of the game for the Orioles. And the one thing about Jason Hamill, obviously doesn't have his best stuff, but we've seen him time and time again somehow being able to put the brakes on and really stay away from the big inning. And that's what the Angels want to get here in the fourth.
0-2 on Hunter. And it's high, a ball and 2 strikes. Torrey Hunter, the home run in the first inning. It's only the second home run that Hamill has allowed here at Camden Yards. The other by Curtis Granderson of the Yankees. That had been the only home run until that first inning shot by Torrey Hunter. Still only 1 down, 2 runs in here in the fourth. Breaking ball he won't chase. No, 2-2. Angels are a season high 8 above 500. And as Jim mentioned, they are 12-1 in their last 13 road games. And they have a 5-1 lead here in the fourth. And Hamill already at 75 pitches as the skippers look on. The 2-2 is a base hit through center field. Soft line drive being sent as Bobby Wilson. Adam Jones bobbles the ball, and he'll have no play. So Wilson was sent. That'll be an RBI single for Torrey Hunter, and it is 6-1. Adam may have been surprised knowing it was the catcher at second base, and Dino Ebel with the lead aggressively sent him.
Yeah, Trout going from first to third wasn't going to stop. And again, I mean, terrific hitting by the Angels. You can see Adams just doesn't catch it, and that will give Trout the extra base. And here comes Buck Showalter to go to the bullpen.
So it'll be a short night for Jason Hamill as he leaves after just 3 1/3. It is a 6-1 game. 2 on, only 1 down in the inning, and Matt Lindstrom coming on for the Orioles. Performance here tonight as the Angels get to him for 6 runs. 8 hits in the game. He walked 3. 1 of those walks did score. 2 strikeouts and 76 pitches to get through 3 1/3. So his night is done, and Matt Lindstrom returns to the team, activated today from the disabled list. He has not pitched for the Orioles since the second game of the doubleheader against the Texas Rangers on Thursday, May the 10th. He allowed 3 runs, 2 earned on 3 hits in just 1 inning in that game, and then it was revealed after the game he had the problem with the tendon in his finger, and he was placed on the disabled list the next day. So he's been on the DL, Jim, since May 11th.
Yeah, so what about 4 appearances rehabbing? Very unusual injury, never had it before. Said he has on occasion had circulation problems, but again, he doesn't have any idea. One of those freak injuries. But again, power pitcher. Full host, a little bit of history. 9 at bats, only 1 hit. Looking for a double play ball if he can get it.
And he's facing Albert Pujols. 3 runs in the inning. There have been 5 hits by the Angels in this inning alone. Pujols has grounded out and he has walked. Runner from first goes, pitches inside, throw to third behind the runner, and it goes down the line. Bettamy couldn't stop it. Here's Mike Trout to score, and heading to third is Torrey Hunter.
Well, again, you're down by 5, now 6. And a very tough throw. Pujols thrown it over. It should have been caught. It isn't. Again, the Orioles, one of the most porous defenses in baseball, but that can't be Matt Wieder's error because it was very catchable. I mean, I suppose they could give it to anybody. Looked like he just either didn't see it, and now they're going to walk Pujols to set up the double play. That's what you have to do. Desperation when you get into these situations here in the fourth, trailing by 6. haven't seen that many of these type of games.
So the Orioles, with the error, they're 64th on the year, tying Tampa Bay for most in the American League. That error, as Jim alluded to, was charged to Betemeet for not catching the ball. And Torrey Hunter was given a stolen base of second base because there was no throw there. So that is an E5, allowing Trout to score as Wieters tried to get him throwing behind the runner. Hunter ends up at third. Trout scores, and now here's Morales, first and third, and one down.
Yeah, he got the big hit. 2-run single after the Trout base hit and a couple of walks up the middle. After really kind of flailing at the fastballs back in the first.
And it's outside.
That's why numbers are sometimes so misleading. You look at the Angels and you look at their total offense. Orioles come in 8th in runs. The Angels are 11, but that's not recent history. Not over the last 31 games. That's early on in April when they really struggled.
Morales fouls it back, 1-1 the count.
And here, with only one out, he doesn't even have to get a base hit to add the 8th run. He's looking to hit a ball in the air. Lindstrom would like to strike him out, pop him up, maybe get a double play ball.
One on the count on the switch hitter batting left. And a base hit to right field past the dive of Reynolds. Another run scores as Torrey Hunter comes in, and Pujols gets all the way to third. Oh, the Angels are just tearing it up.
Well, a little bit unlucky, and then a lot of hittable pitches. This is just a little breaking ball that ends up down and in. I don't know if too many lefties don't like this one. I mean, it's just hanging. So again, if you don't have anybody on, it's a routine ground ball, but with Reynolds holding the runner, it's a base hit into right field. Another run, 7-run lead, and not only do you get the base hit, the RBI, you get the runner all the way to third and only one out.
So Morales has a 3 RBI night. Here's Mark Trumbo, the 9th batter to come up here in the 4th inning. And a line drive broken back to Hardy. And there's the second out. So 2 down here in the Angel 4th. Well, tomorrow the first 10,000 fans 15 and over will receive a Vote Orange Orioles All-Star Game t-shirt as the Birds take on the Indians at 7:05. Adam Jones in that tight race for a starting spot. So show your support for Adam and all your favorite Orioles heading into the final days of voting. Tickets 888-848-BIRD or online at Orioles.com. Voting will end midnight tomorrow. So 2 down. Wieters out in front of the plate, letting the infielders know what he will do if the runner at first, Morales, takes off with 2 down.
And this whole inning started on a 2-strike high fastball to Alberto Callaspa. Jason Hamill quickly got in front of him, and then I don't know if the intent was to throw a fastball by him, but he kind of jumped on it and hit it down the right field line for a double.
And it's low. 1-1 the count. So the runs this inning all charged to Hamill. And there's another base hit to right field. Albert Pujols will score. Morales stops at second base. And the Angels are just laying it on here in the 4th inning.
Now 6, the crooked number. You hate to see that unless you're an Angel fan. And again, inactivity. Didn't get the ball away. All Alberto Callaspa had to do, drop the bat head, and he did.
Nine to 1 in favor of the Angels. And here's Howie Kendrick. Check swinging. It's low. 1-0. Kendrick has singled earlier this inning to drive in a run. He then was forced at second base. Orioles unable to turn that double play because of the hustle by AT.
How'd you like to draft a young hitter, which they did with Howie Kendrick in the 10th round, and you send him to A ball, he hits 318, the next year 368, the next year 367, 384, 342, 369. That's what Howie Kendrick did before he got to the big leagues. It's a nice little minor league numbers.
Absolutely.
Minor league totals 360.
That's how you get noticed.
And then last year all-star team, played a little left field, 18 home runs, the most.
And knocked down by Lindstrom, and the inning will finally end. As Kendrick is retired, that ball was hit hard. So the Angels get 11 men to the plate, score 6, and now lead it 9-1. AT&T 4G LTE with speeds up to 10 times faster than 3G. AT&T, rethink possible. By Chevy Cruze, offering the best highway mileage of any gas engine in America. And by Farmers Insurance, call 888-96-FARMERS or visit farmers.com to find a local agent. We are insurance. We are farmers. 9-1 game as the Angels send 11 men to the plate, 6 score in the 4th, and maybe Jared Weaver tightened up. He was on the bench a long time.
About a half an hour. Well, let me tell you something about 6 runs innings. If you're the one who's the benefactor, a couple extra pitches. And what does he do? He starts it out with a changeup. He has not been as sharp. The scoreboard doesn't really tell you the whole story because the Orioles have hit some balls hard. But now 8-run lead to work with, and that. But it is a good point. Anytime you do have a big inning, you usually try to get your catcher to maybe distract the umpire or somebody, and then get a couple of extra warm-up pitches.
Reader's a bouncer to second base. Right there is Kendrick. Matt's retired. He's 0 for 2 and 1 away in the 4th inning. Don't forget about Saturday, big day here. Earl Weaver will be honored as part of the Orioles Legend Celebration Series. He'll receive his bronze sculpture in the new center field picnic area. The ballpark gates will open for fans at 2 o'clock, and ceremonies begin at 2:15. All fans will receive a replica Earl Weaver sculpture. To help us honor the Earl of Baltimore, 888-848-BIRD or go online Orioles.com/legends.
I'm looking forward to it. It will be toasty, though.
Yes. Betamete singled his first at bat. Waves at a changeup.
You know, the great thing, if you're a good pitcher, or in this case a great pitcher, Jared Weaver, is that nothing really changes. You're still focused. You know one pitch can't beat you, and then you just go about your business.
he got him. He went upstairs with a fastball and a 3-pitch strikeout.
86 miles per hour. But I think that was maybe a little bit of a cutter. So just out of the zone. And when you're 8 runs down, this is what you try to do. Just make them expand the zone. And just think about it. If you're the Orioles, it is. I know it's going to sound like excuses, but this is reality. 40-some years of baseball. It's hard to focus when you're 8 down. We saw that with Matt Wieters. He swung at a ball that he normally would have probably taken if it's 2-1, 3-1. And that's why you try. Can't always do it. Try to stay out of the big innings, because it takes your team emotionally out of games, not to mention physically when you look at the scoreboard.
Reynolds was hit by a pitch his first at bat, a fastball that sailed in on him. And a good take, 2-1.
Right in the O.
The O on his uniform as it rode in.
It would be just like on the halo on the chest of Jared Weaver.
Ball 3. Weaver looking for his 8th win. His only loss May 13th at Texas. And that's high ball 4, so a 2-out walk. Time now for our AT&T Mobility Trivia Fact. Cal Ripken Jr. broke the all-time consecutive games record against the Angels. 21-31, the consecutive game played on September the 6th, 1995, right here at Camden Yards. And then he kept on playing and playing and playing.
2,632 games.
Ryan Flaherty pinch hitting for Nick Johnson, who is left with an injured wrist. We saw Buck Showalter talking with Johnson earlier on the bench, so now we know obviously that was what the discussion was about.
Well, if you go back, and we can't go back, but we can recall it, he tried to check his swing, and he's had wrist problems the last couple of years.
And Flaherty to right field, but over is Torrey Hunter, and he has it for the out, so that ends the inning. A 2-out walk and a man left as Jared Weaver continues going along. We're led to the 5th. Buck Showalter and the Birds down 9-1.
Highlights: the Angels, probably the second hottest team in baseball behind the Yankees. Hunter with the hanging curveball for the home run, and then the great play by Mike Trout robbing J.J. Hardy. Adam Jones rocket over the base. The Orioles tie it up, and then with 2 outs, Morales with a 2-run single off of Jason Hamill to make it 3-1. And again in the 4th inning, they knock out Hamill, 6-run inning. Jason again so good this year. Tonight just didn't really have that little extra, and Kevin Gregg's 2nd straight night comes on as the Orioles are trying to heat up some innings.
Eric Ibar takes strike one for the new pitcher Kevin Gregg. So Lindstrom in his return goes 2/3 of an inning, 1 earned run on 2 hits. And now Kevin Gregg in this 9-1 game. There's Matt on the Oriole bench. Chatted with him before the game. He was thrilled to be back. Pretty lonely when you're sent to the Gulf Coast League to do the rehab. They play those 11 a.m. games.
Well, and they're different baseballs, and it's different. Obviously, the adrenaline doesn't. You want to get well, but you want to get back. And then base pitching feel and being out there. Again, it's a warm night here, but the lack of humidity makes it a pretty good night to pitch and hit. Obviously, if you look at the Angels scoreboard.
Well, they got 17 hits last night, and they got 10 tonight.
Well, you looked at the Angels, and you add Albert Pujols. They hope to get Kenry Morales back. Now, whether he would be the guy.
And this one lying to Roberts, and he hauls it in. Another hard hit ball, one away.
Whether Morales would be the guy that hit 34 home runs after missing 2.5 years, that's a big stretch. But you knew they were going to be a pretty good offensive ball club.
Hey, fans, due to tomorrow's Nationals-Rockies game, an afternoon game, the Mid-Atlantic Sports Report returns on Friday from 5 until 7. Tom Davis, Phil Wood, Dave Johnson, and Mel Antonin will have all the latest Orioles news and headlines. So that's Friday at 5 p.m. here on Massing. And Wilson fouls it back.
And we're probably not even going to get to see. We talked about Mike Trout, 35-19, since he joined the club. How about Ernesto Frieri? Comes out of the San Diego organization. Jerry DiPoto makes the trade. They're 21-1 when he pitches. Most likely, hopefully, the games will be closer. And if we see him, it will be out in Anaheim unless he gets a tune-up inning tonight. But he's been on a roll. And then Scott Downs has given up 1 run all year. So it's a very formidable team that came into Baltimore.
Fly ball to right field off the bat of Wilson. And Chris Davis has it for the out and 2 down. So here's Mike Trout, who's had a good night. Base hit to right field in the 3rd. That got a 2-out rally going. And the Angels then broke the 1-all tie with 2 down on a bases loaded single by Morales. And then he had a swinging bunt base hit for an RBI, later scored in the 4th. And Gregg gets ahead of him 0-1.
Well, if you want to, he looks a little bit, and I face this guy, right-handed version of Mickey Mantle. Has that boyish look and short hair. She's from New Jersey. Mantle is from Oklahoma. Your state. Trout.
New Jersey.
Yes. Mickey was an Oklahoman. Switch hitter. Nice little pitch
Commerce,
right there.
Oklahoma.
All you got to do is take 20 numbers off of his, get to number 7, and you'd have Mickey Mantle.
That's right.
Who I saw hit his 500th home run in Yankee Stadium off of Stu Miller. A great change-up pitcher.
The Angels have not gone down in order all night. Gregg is an odd way of doing that. Hamill retired the first 2 in the 3rd before Trout got that single to keep it going. 2-2 with 2 down. Jared Weaver, a lot of run support. 9-1 lead. Just inside, ball 3, threw it right to the mask of Kerwin Danley and didn't get the call.
Yeah, the old backdoor cutter. Hope that Mike Trout would give up on it. Just didn't hit the plate.
3-2 with the bases empty and 2 down. And a ground ball pass. Reynolds down the line. And Trout's thinking to, but Davis hustles over.
Well, yeah, Mike Trout also a pretty heady player. 9-1. You don't need to force it into a double.
Well, when Torrey Hunter came up his last at bat in the fourth, on the tail end of this play, Adam Jones was charged with an error that I didn't even realize they charged him with. The catcher, Wilson, was the runner at second base. You see Adam charging in. The runner scores easily. Trout was already on his way to third. He would have made it to third anyway. But they gave Adam Jones an error because he bobbled that ball.
Well, they have to go back and revisit that. And you can actually ask them to do that.
And he obviously was charging in because he knew the catcher was the runner at second base, and he thought he might have a play at the plate.
Well, you can't give him an error on that. Anyway. Yeah, well, you're right. But that apparently the official scorer thought that was the case.
Base hit to right field. The Angels are putting on a clinic going the other way.
Well, we always talk about the fact, everybody talks about with a runner on, or you have that hole over there, it applies to a righty. So again, May 15th, they go out and get Jim Eppert, their minor league hitting instructor, been with Salt Lake 10 years, and the offense has been a lot better. Trout got called to the big leagues. Pujols, who now steps to the plate, started hitting. But again, his thing is have a plan. And it's good to have a plan when Jason Hammel's not at his best, and that was the case tonight. We haven't seen that very rarely. But look at that, 6 for 9 with runners in scoring position.
And Trout and Hunter are a combined 6 for 7 plus a walk. Pujols swings through a changeup. Hunter's been on base all 4 times. Trout has 3 singles. He struck out leading off the game. Trout and Hunter, the table setters, are certainly doing that and then some. They also each have RBIs. Trout has 1, Hunter has 2. Three and 1 on Pujols, says Greg, being careful with him. And he chases 3 and 2 on a good pitch that darted outside.
Yeah, we talked about it last night. Usually walks once every 7.5. This year every 12 at bats, so expanding a little bit more, but not at that grounder.
So it's another walk in this inning, setting up exactly like the third inning. Ibar led it off. He made an out. Wilson made an out. And then Trout kept the inning going. The same exact spot in the lineup here in the 5th inning. Ibar lined out. Wilson flied out. Trout a base hit. Hunter a base hit. And now walk to Pujols has loaded the bases.
Did they give Trout an error, or did they give Reynolds an error on the Trout ground ball?
That's a base hit. You mean the one in this inning?
Yes.
Yeah.
Error or base hit?
No, it's a base hit.
Really?
So here's Morales batting again with the bases loaded. Takes a strike. Well, here's his hot zone. He is very specific where he wants it. Middle away, middle in, and down the middle. And down the middle low.
And yeah, better low ball hitter than high ball hitter. And we've seen that tonight. Both of the hits on balls down. One a slider, one a 2-seam fastball.
3 RBI night for Morales. Ground ball towards the middle. Roberts will get to it, and it goes right beyond them and into center field. 2 runs are going to score. Bryant, it looked like, was going to shuttle that ball to Hardy to try to get the force to end the inning. And when he went to flip the ball, it got right by him.
Yeah, may have hit the lip of the outfield. Really good view right here. Good pitch. So there's your bounce. No, he just missed it. Flat out missed it. But again, tough to hit, tough to play defense. You're obviously not focusing now. You're down by 10. And that's what the big inning does. Everybody loses their train of thought. Well, you can really you can talk about it all you want, and tonight is a perfect illustration. Hitters spanning the strike zone. Guys, not a great defensive club anyway. tied for the most errors. You just lose your focus.
This is going to be a tough play for Bedemeet. And he gets it there in time to end the inning. Nicely done. Good throw by Bedemeet. But 2 more runs come in unearned mid-5th. It's 11-1 in favor of the Angels. Focus. Every team goes through spurts like the Orioles are going through. You don't like games like tonight. You got to try to get some positives, turn it around the rest of the way, and get back tomorrow and go back at it.
Yeah, and then you have the Cleveland Indians, who just kind of got batted around. They've lost 5 in a row. They come in for 4 games. So obviously 11-1. Hamill, who's been your stopper, as we mentioned, he had 4-1 after losses, unable to do that tonight. But again, it's one of those games where you'd like to stay close. You always talk about not having the big inning, and the Angels, with that 6-run 4th inning, have really done a number on the Orioles, and they're playing at the top of their game.
And you can see the confidence in which they are going to the plate, because they are a hot team. They're a hot team top to bottom in the lineup, and they are going up there with a purpose and getting it done, as Pierce leads off, and Weaver gets ahead of him 0-1. It'll be Pierce, Roberts, and Hardy for the Orioles here in the 5th. And a foul off the plate, and it's 0-2. He flied out his first at bat. And a bouncer to short. Right there is Eric Ibar. And he throws it across for the out, and 1 down. Well, let's get a look at the struggling offense, Jim. We go back and look at it month by month. And the runs per game, that's the key. You see 3.6 runs per game. And the last 9 games, runners in scoring position, 2 for the last 45. So that 252 runners in scoring position in June, a lot of those hits came early in the month.
Well, you're right. And then at the end of the day, you look at total runs scored, total runs given up. And last year, the Orioles had 1 winning month. That was the month of September. And that's, of course, that's nothing to write home about, because they ended up with only 69 wins. So this year, of course, the bullpen good. Chen's been really good. Hamill's been good. Arrieta's pitching better, but record, you would never know that. So you just hope that Nick Markakis will be healthy in the next 2 weeks, and you kind of get back to being, I don't know if you're ever, with Reimold out with the neck surgery, and we certainly send our best to him, but if you're ever going to be a team that is as powerful as Boston or the Yankees, or maybe even Toronto.
Roberts, a high fly ball, shallow right. Torrey Hunter comes in and calls off Kendrick, and 2 men down. Well, J.J. Hardy looking to break out of it tonight, and he certainly should have, but tough luck.
Well, tough luck, tough trout is really what it's about. I mean, terrific play, about as good as you can see, and then a hanging breaking ball, and Ibar just able to catch it.
And Twitter chatter tonight on the Masson Twitter. All right, who's got the voodoo doll? This ain't right. Talking about J.J. Hardy.
Well, the good news is he's had 2 quality at bats. And again, the bad part of the equation is nothing to show for it, which is not totally true. Nothing statistically You got to feel better about your bats.
He falls behind 0-2.
And then, of course, it's Jared Weaver, so it's no walk in the park. No free lunches when this guy pitches.
And it's in the dirt.
And if you saw a youngster pitch like this, way across his body, to go, boy, you got to straighten him out. Yet Long Beach State, #1 draft choice, steps right at you, and then almost got that pitch.
The Angels in this game have had 5 hitters already come to bat 4 times. Ryan Roberts has batted for a 3rd time. Hardy for a 3rd time. They're the only ones to be up 3 times.
And there's a changeup, and JJ, I mean, was right on it. Terrific swing.
Well, what would you do if you had the chance to run the Orioles? Head on over to Facebook.com/MASSON-Orioles and enter to win dinner with Buck Showalter. Your chance to go one-on-one with the Orioles manager. We'll also let you bring a guest, and Masson will take care of the tab. So get online and enter right now, July the 1st. Facebook.com/MASSON-Orioles. 3-2 on J.J. Hardy. You know, the other thing, because of the roster move today, they're playing with a short bench tonight. Because Steve Tollefson was the move for Matt Lindstrom, not a pitcher for a pitcher. So with Nick Johnson having to leave the game with an injured wrist, Flaherty in the game, and Dino and Paulino are the only 2 on the bench. It was a short bench to begin with, even shorter now.
So your backup catcher, and of course, Robert Anito can play anywhere. Outfield, all the infield position.
Off the end of the bat to right field. Hunter charging in. Still coming. Still coming. It falls in for a base hit. And Hardy is on with a base hit. So how about that? He's robbed in center field by Trout. He's robbed at shortstop by Ibar. That wasn't a doink, but he'll take it. It was a flare.
And Jared Weaver wasn't happy because that ball had Ray Guy, the punter, hang time. This ball's up in the air a long time, but Torrey Hunter doesn't get a good jump, and that's why it falls. So 2-line drives, a potential home run. Nada. And this ball drops in. A doink. Semi-doink. So there you go. And if you think it all evens out,
it does not.
No. I guess it probably does, maybe if you play long enough.
I don't know. Here's Chris Davis. I saw what Trout did. I saw what Ibar did. That's 2 hits there. Well, he's lost 2 and got 1 back.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't mean tonight. I'm just saying if you play long enough. Thank you, Torrey. 10-time Gold Glover. Didn't get a good jump.
Yeah, he's playing deep on Hardy, respecting the power, even the opposite way.
Even though he never drives the ball to right field. So thank you.
Oh, real good cut there, and he fouled it off. So here are the hot zones, the different batting averages for Chris Davis this year. And
there you go. I mean, we're having the unveiling for Earl Weaver. High. Look at this. Up and in. It's low and away. 100-083. That's exactly how Earl told us to pitch everybody.
Ooh.
The old pitchers meeting. I mean, Ty Cobb couldn't hit that stuff. Up and in and low and away. Ted Williams, that was what, the 230 zone, down and away.
Check swinging a high fastball.
And you could see Bobby Wilson trying to get him to climb the ladder. Good take by Chris Davis. Well, obviously you don't like to be 10 runs back, but why not have some quality at bats? And I'm sure the Orioles are going to try to do that.
And another good take, 2-2. You made a good point before about Weaver and his velocity, or really lack of. His off-speed stuff is so good. That 87 looks 97.
Well, again, I think it's the deception and the crossfire, the fact he's 6'7". The release point is, you don't see a whole lot of guys throwing from that little window, which is what you're trying to look at if you're a hitter.
Strike 3 called on the outside corner again. Rung up by Kerwin Danley as Chris Davis strikes out for a 2nd time. A base hit, a man left through 5. 11-1 Angels. series against the Indians. It'll be Wei-Yin Chen on the mound against Zach McAllister. Our coverage on MASN 2 HD begins at 6:30 with those extra presented by Jeep, followed by game coverage at 7 o'clock. We've got all the access you need right here on MASN.
So there you go. Wei-Yin Chen, no decision actually a loss the other night, even though he pitched very well, only a solo home run, and haven't had a chance to see Zach McAllister. So the Indians trying to break their losing streak. The Orioles are going to have to mount a serious comeback, otherwise they'll have a 2-game losing streak. And Andino.
Yep, Adam Jones out of the game, as you saw on the bench, and Robert Andino comes in. So Ronnie Paulino, the only player left on the bench, and here is Troy Patton.
Yeah, who has really pitched well for the Orioles. The 2-1 victories over the Nationals, big part of those games over the weekend. And again, the more you see him, the more you understood why they coveted him when they traded Miguel Tejada to Houston. Labrum surgery, slow comeback, but he can pitch. He's got starter stuff. I mean, not lights out starter stuff, but 3 pitches that he usually is able to get over.
Misses outside to Callaspo, switch hitter now batting right.
And the challenge, Jim, as you know, for any bullpen guy, when you come in, you like numbers. He's been on a roll, but you're down by 10. Got to be able to have that focus. It's a great learning. Sometimes and it's hard to do when you're a starting pitcher, when you give up early runs, you want to save the bullpen. You somehow have to gut it out and give them the innings and stay in the game and keep the bullpen from being overused.
Troy Patton, Jim, you talked about it. He's been on a tear. Last 6 appearances, 7 in the 3rd inning, no runs on only 4 base hits.
Well, he's just saying, I'm just getting more experience and my arm's getting stronger. And again, the labrum surgery. Tommy John's probably about a 92 percentile. Labrums are a little bit different. It's the around the joint. And there's, well, welcome to the big plate. Nicely framed. So what if it's a couple of inches off the plate?
It's been that all night.
Yeah. What's amazing, as good as Jason Hamill's been, is that when you have that kind of plate, that a team's able to get 11 runs, which kind of tells you how good the Angels have been lately.
Kendrick to short. Hardy gets it across, and 2 down in the Angels' 6th inning. Our Rose Extra postgame tune-in brought to you by PNC Bank for the Achiever and you. So stand by. Tom Davis and Rick Dempsey will have Rose Extra postgame. The postgame press conference with Buck Showalter, player interviews and more. Rose Extra postgame, all presented by PNC after the game here on MASN. So 2 down. Here's Ibar. Takes a strike. Ibar reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th inning and scored. He is 0 for 3 officially. And a bouncer wide of 3rd. Bettamy to his left. He turns, he throws, and for the first time tonight, the Angels are retired in order. 3 up, 3 down we go. Bottom of the 6th coming up. O's are looking for some runs. Options. Well, SunTrust can help you find new ways to move forward. Well, the struggles of the night for the Orioles: 4 for 19, 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position, 5 strikeouts and 5 left on base. And since tying the game in the bottom of the first, the Angels have scored 10 unanswered runs. Mike Trout moves from center field to left field. Peter Borges is now in the game in center field. Trumbo moves from left field to first base, so Pujols is done, and there's Andrew Romine now in the game at shortstop. Ibar is out of the game. And here's Andino for his first at-bat.
The new center fielder.
The new center fielder.
Well, he's not that new, but he's new position.
And a ground ball through the middle. There's a base hit. He got a hanging breaking ball, and he's on. So there's a leadoff single. Our PNC minor league report is brought to you by PNC for the achiever in you. Well, how about Manny Machado really now starting to heat up for Double-A Bowie? 342 over his last 10 games with 13 base hits, 4 doubles, 2 home runs, and 2 RBIs. And he is keeping it going tonight. He is 2 for 4 tonight with another home run. So Manny Machado is really coming on at Double-A Bowie. There's a big chopper off the bat of Wieters. In between hop to Kendrick, goes to Romine, 1 back to first for a double play.
Yeah, Howie Kendrick, again, we told you those glowing numbers, better known for his bat and then the hard work. Dino able to improve his defense. It's a tough play right here because of the short hop. Look at that high chop, and he plays it. I'm not sure you really want to play it that way all the time when you have a 10-run lead, but it certainly works here. And then Romine, whose brother is a catcher, Austin, with the Yankees, turns it.
So that erases the leadoff hit. Wieters 0 for 3 with 3 groundouts. Wilson is 1 for 2 to extend his hitting streak to 7 straight.
Yeah, Weaver, who missed 19 games on the DL with back spasms, actually said yesterday it was a bit more about the hips, just kind of a little bit lax, and then all of a sudden, I guess when you're 6 and 7 and you have all that torque thrown across your body. So Darren O'Day getting loose. Everybody's going to get a little bit of work. Get ready for the Indian.
And another base hit for Bettamy. Well, he is red hot. He is now 16 for his last 33. And with Andino in the game now, Ronnie Paulino is the only player left on the bench, the other catcher. So there's Ronnie. So if Buck Showalter wanted to rest Wieters, he really can't, because then if something happens to Ronnie, nobody to catch, unless Ryan Flaherty's been practicing unbeknownst to us. Reynolds off the end of the bat to center field. There's Borges. He went back, then came in, and he has it for the out. So 2 hits in the inning, but 1 left. We're through 6 at Camden Yards. The Angels lead it 11-1. Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Anywhere downtown, it's Miller Time. What a nice view of the Inner Harbor on this lovely night. And Darren O'Day comes on to get some work in.
Going to tell us straight where I live, across the harbor.
You want to do that?
No. So again, look at the glowing numbers. The Oriole bullpen, the heart and soul of this ball club, because they've been that good. It seems like he can pitch every day. Last year, hip problems. 2 previous years with the Rangers, about as good as you want. ERA is right around 2.00, 2 runs a game, 66, 72 appearances. Very deceptive. Under Armour.
So O'Day becomes the 5th Oriole pitcher. Hamill 3 1/3, 8 earned runs. Lindstrom 2/3 of an inning, 1 earned run. Kevin Gregg 1 inning, 2 unearned runs. Patton 1 inning, 3 up, 3 down, and now O'Day in the 7th. They face Bobby Wilson, then Mike Trout, and Torrey Hunter. Wilson, the number 9 batter, 1 out of 3, a single and a run scored. Breaking ball stays inside.
And of course, the Angels know Darren O'Day because they play in the same division with the Rangers. So last year, of course, on the disabled list for a portion of the season. And with the other 2, well aware of what he can do. There's the breaking ball. Not a Chad Bradford in the sense that he throws ground balls, not Todd Froworth, because he throws more fly balls than actually grounders, which is unusual for somebody that is a sidearmer.
Ooh, good pitch there.
Well, it's spine angle. He just bends at the waist. He was talking earlier. Watch his front shoulder. Very much like when you pitch, it's your steering wheel. Even if you're in a sidearm or underarm or whatever you want to call him, he said that's probably the most important thing. The extension. Watch his left arm. So again, trying to stay, and when he gets open too much, same thing as an overhand pitcher, can't stay behind his stuff.
2-2, and he made the mistake there. He threw that pitch down the middle.
Oh, you mean throw it for the edges?
You got to hit the chalk to get a call.
You mean the batting box chalk?
Right, right. Two and 2 on Bobby Wilson. Line drive, base hit down the line as Wilson reached out and hooked it into the corner. Pierce is digging it out. And there's a leadoff double for Bobby Wilson. So the onslaught continues for the Angels. Fans, the next fireworks night comes up Friday. O's and Indians at 7:05. A beautiful post-game display. So get your tickets in advance and save. You'll have a great time here. Call 888-848-BIRD or visit Orioles.com. They always put on a great show. It's a lot of fun. Great place to spend the Friday night.
Yeah, so Bobby Wilson happy, came in hitting 170, single double. Last night, on their way to 4 home runs, 17 hits. Every Angel with a hit, 6 of them with 2 hits or more.
There's Mike Trout, and he takes a strike. Trout has 3 hits on the night. Mike Scioscia's club now has 13 after getting 17 last night.
So what, the 25th player picked?
Yep.
Back in 2009.
They had 2 picks. They were consecutive, 24 and 25.
And I assume we picked before them.
Yes, we did.
Any idea who we picked?
Matt Hobgood.
You're like the answer man.
Well, I have the.
You got the book.
It's easy when you have the book.
Okay.
The Angels had the 24th pick. Randall Grichuk, who was an outfielder, and then Mike Trout right after that. And he got him. So Wieters holds on. There's a strikeout of Trout, one away.
Yeah, he tried to get Kerwin Danley to say that he fouled it off, and Matt Wieters was unable to catch it before it hit the ground. And again, you could see the movement. Well, player of the week when you look at Torrey Hunter in early June. Nice little week with 4 home runs and 10 RBIs, 10 runs scored. And again, major part of this resurgence by the Angels.
O'Day deals a breaking ball for a strike. He's been on base all 4 times. He has homered, he has walked, and he has singled twice. He has also scored 4 runs. So 0-2 on Torrey Hunter. And he got him. So back-to-back strikeouts.
Well, he's got terrific stuff and deception. We talked about Jared Weaver. Look at this ball move. Pretty much what pitching's all about, and Torrey just kind of waves at it. Terrific pitch for 2 strikes. How about Derek Jeter turned 38? Yeah, only a couple. I don't know what he did yesterday, but he only a couple of hits behind Cal with 31-84. Seems like only yesterday. It was 1996.
And there's a strike. I saw him play in Double-A.
Well, Borges with games coming in for defense. Home run last night. Home run on Sunday against the Dodgers in Los Angeles. They're actually in Anaheim.
And it's outside. Let's get a look at our Olive Garden game flow. And the game flow is right there in that line, 11-1. As the Angels have 13 more base hits on the night. And the flow kept coming in the 4th inning, a 6-run inning. Line base hit to right field past the dive of Mark Reynolds. So here comes Wilson to score. Throw goes to second base. So Borges just into the game. He contributes. It's an RBI double, and it's 12-1.
Well, they have done a terrific job. 4 home runs last night, but tonight it's about hitting it where it is pitched, and that's exactly what Peter Borges does. Hanging change up last night off of Brian Mattis for a home run. Tonight fastball down and away, and he just goes with it. Boy, it is tough to get guys out when they use the whole field. And that's what the Angels have done in these 2 games. You know what the good news about this 2-game series? It's only a 2-game series.
Only 2 games. Here's Kendrys Morales.
I hope by the time the Orioles get out there a week from Thursday, they'll be tired.
Well, the schedule is so much not only who you play, but when you play them. And you look at what the Orioles have gone through the last couple of weeks. I mean, they go to New York to play the Mets. They get their top 2 pitchers back-to-back nights. They play here against the Angels. They get their top 2 pitchers back-to-back nights. Plus the Angels just on fire with the bats.
Yeah. Well, that is, of course, the Angels. I would assume. I don't know if they'll be this hot, but they're going to be a real good team. Mike Sochi was talking about it. He said, you come out and play us 7 times out of the 9 games. We only have to come here twice. Yet we have to go to New York 6 times, and they come out for 3. And I said the people that make up the schedule have no idea of the inequities of not having balanced schedules. That's not only as far as where you play, but who you play. And I'm sure there's a lot of inequities when you start looking at some of the interleague scheduling.
Oh, absolutely. Well, this would have been a year, would have been very easy, because there's 5 teams in the AL East, 5 teams in the NL East, and you play 6 interleague series where every AL East team plays the NL East team, and then you have that other series with your natural rival. But the problem is all the East teams don't have natural rivals with the other East divisions, and that's why there's inequities. 2-2 is popped foul this way, coming right back to Jim Palmer, who was ready to catch it and autograph it and sign it to the crowd. Well, maybe not. That's why they put those wheels on that chair.
Oh, was it ever.
I haven't seen you move that quickly in years.
Well, I went down for the count one year, and when it hit the top of the monitor, we had to put the monitors in.
And another base hit to right field for Morales. What a night. Borges will score easily, and Morales is on at first with his 4th RBI and 3rd hit of the game.
Well, the Orioles have found out that he likes it down. He likes it. I mean, 2 of the 3 hits, 2-seamer, 2-run single up the middle, and then just some sliders that end up on the inside middle. You can see where the target is, and it just comes back to the middle of the plate, and he just drops the bat head. Not too many left-handers don't like to golf the low pitch.
So here is Mark Trumbo, who amazingly enough is 0 for 4 and has not been on base in this game, and he waves at that breaking ball down and away.
He reminds me a little bit, maybe not quite as tall, even though he's tall, about 6'5", of Frank Howard. Both big, strong right-handed hitters. Hondo, of course, would lead the American League with 47, 48 home runs. There's Frank Howard, one of the nicest guys ever.
Yeah.
Until he hit one over the wall, and then you didn't like him as much, but very outgoing, gregarious guy, as is Trumbull.
There's a big bouncer to short. Hardy will flip to Roberts, and that ends the inning. But the Angels get 2 more. 7th inning stretch brought to you by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey. Fly straight. Drink responsibly. Jim Hunter and Jim Palmer. Jim, one way to look at this game, of course, the Orioles are upset. They want to be in this game. They don't want to be losing 13-1. But you made a good point. It's one game. You want to win them all. You're going to go through stretches of this year. So the key is you get out of this. How do you bounce back tomorrow?
Well, Cleveland comes in, and as we said, they're struggling. 5 doesn't mean they're not going to play hard, because that's what Maniac, the team, does. They're very much in the race in the American League Central, so they'll come in. They're not playing as well as the Angels are. If the Angels win tonight, it'll be 24 out of 32. So Cleveland comes in. They've lost 5 in a row. You just hope that Chen does. 2 most reliable pitchers have been Hamill, who did not have the type of game that we're used to. And then you have Wei and Chen, who is, again, the second most consistent Oriole pitcher.
So Ryan Flaherty will lead off as we go to the bottom of the 7th, as Weaver stays on. The Orioles have had 2 men on in the same inning only once, and that was in the first when they scored their run. As Flaherty fouls it back. And that was a 2-out, nobody on rally. Chris Davis with a single, Adam Jones with an RBI double to get him in.
Yeah, it's one of those games where it helps to have 13 runs if you're Jared Weaver, but it also helps to be 29 years old and have all this experience because you've been up and down, long innings. But again, if you're a good pitcher, or in fact, I mean, he's in the category of a handful of maybe the best in the American League, you don't want to give up runs. You're just not used to doing it.
Flaherty swings through it, and he's down on strikes and 1 away. Well, the Orioles seeing the Angels' best 2 pitchers, and here's the load that they have carried on the year. Wilson and Weaver 11 starts. They've gone a combined 7-0 and an ERA of 1.30. Look at the batting average against and the team record. Yep, they've won all 11 of those starts. Rest of the starting pitchers 24 games.
Yeah, and Jared Weaver, we just saw him again, a young hitter, Rule 5 guy. And Ryan Flaherty, 86-mile-per-hour high fastball. Couldn't get to it because of where it was located.
And those numbers we saw since May the 18th, and we talked about the slow start the Angels got on. So 11 starts combined since that day for these two, and the Angels have won every game.
Well, when you get a lot of run support, you have the back end of the bullpen is as good as anybody in baseball. The back end of their bullpen, I know I talked about this last night, they've given up 1 run all year. We're in June, almost July. And now we saw Jordan Walden, and he's been pitching better. I mean, everybody to get to Scott Down, who's in his 2nd year, who's having another fabulous year. He's the one that gave up a run, and then Frieri has yet to give up a run, coming over from San Diego in a trade. 22 scoreless innings. It's a nice luxury to have if you're a starting pitcher. And then LaTroy Hawkins, who broke his pinky, he's back, veteran right-hander. We'll see him most likely tonight.
Pierce with a patient at bat, breaking ball down and away, doesn't chase, so the count full.
Well, that's what you like to see because, again, because of injuries to Nolan Reimold and the Hammett bone injury to Nick Markakis, you have a young guy, get him out of the Yankees. He's had some experience.
High fly ball right center field. Borges calls off Hunter, and he has it for the out and 2 down here in the Orioles 7th inning. Well, time now for you to text in your vote for the AT&T Player of the Game. Here are the candidates. Torrey Hunter has had an outstanding night, on base 4 times with a couple of RBIs and a home run. Kendrys Morales has 3 hits and 4 RBIs. Or Mike Trout, who has 3 hits and RBI, and he robbed J.J. Hardy of a home run. Text in your vote now and have your voice heard. A, B, or C to 31826. Well, Jared Weaver leaves. So his night is done. He is on his way to his 8th win of the year. Hawkins will come on, 2 outs, nobody on in the 7th. Weaver goes 6 2/3, just 1 run on 6 hits, walked only 1, and struck out 6, 96 pitches. Of course, he's coming back from the disabled list, so no need to go any further, and he'll sit down and watch the rest. And here's LaTroy Hawkins, a one-time Oriole.
Yeah, and again, a veteran guy last year with Milwaukee. Again, he came back. He missed considerable time, 30 games with that fractured 5th finger on his right hand. And he hurt that back against Toronto, which is where they will go after this game. Scoreless in 13 of the 15 appearances on the year, and you can see the right-handers doing more damage. Brian Roberts, of course, left-handed, will lead it off or be the first hitter he faces.
2 outs, nobody on. Brian 0 for 3. And 0 for 10 now over the past 3 games. And 3 for 18 on the homestand for Brian. And a bouncer towards short, deep short, roll mine. A long throw across gets Roberts, and that'll do it. So Hawkins gets his man in a 3-up, 3-down inning. We'll head to the 8th at Camden Yards. Looks like Paulino will come in for Wieters. Angels lead at 13-1. Janice has won a total of $1,000 from the Maryland Lottery. For your chance to be the Maryland Lottery contestant of the game, play Strike It Rich scratch-offs and enter your non-winning ticket codes at mdlottery.com/strikeItRich.
So Dana Evelyn comes on, and there are the numbers. 1 start on the year for the Orioles. Their last pitch on the 19th, and that was against the Mets. He got back on paternity leave. We were going to try to find out. I never had a chance to talk to him, so a new father of sorts, all the way to the West Coast, and certainly a candidate to possibly start over the weekend.
Yes.
Well, maybe this is what just a tune-up inning.
And a hard hit ball to second base. Brian Roberts has it, and he'll get it to first to get Callaspo.
Which I'm not sure you can just tune up against the Orioles or the Angels the way they're swinging the bat.
Well, Britton pitched last night for AAA Norfolk, so he would be on turn for Saturday if they wanted to go that way. And Tillman was pitching tonight. Let's see if Tillman was pulled early. Here's Howie Kendrick, and he takes a strike. Sometimes that'll give you a hint of what they might be thinking.
Well, if they did that, though.
So yeah. He was not pulled early. 5 2/3 innings.
Yeah,
96 pitches.
He would have to come back with
right.
a short day of rest.
So he's not an option. That's a weak ground ball wide of first. Reynolds will flip to Evelyn, who hustles over there. And 2 quick outs here in the 8th inning. Fans, Orioles pitcher Jason Hamill will be at the official team store at the York Galleria Mall Friday, 11 a.m. until noon. So coming out, meet Jason, get an autograph, and talk with Jason about the 2012 O's. That's Friday, 11 until noon, the official Orioles team store at the York Galleria Mall, York, Pennsylvania. For all the details on Orioles appearances in the community, OriolesReach.com.
We have a baby alert. Asher Perry, 7-pound, 9-ounce boy. So congratulations to Dana Needham.
That is a big moment in your life.
Oh, we certainly hope his wife Ashley is doing well.
Romine bounces it to third. Benavides gets it across, and he got down the line. He got him by a hair. And a 3-up, 3-down inning for Dana Evelyn. Bottom of the 8th coming up on a beautiful night in the harbor. Angels lead it. Blue Cross Blue Shield will contribute $50 to support the American Heart Association Heart Walk. To date, the Orioles have drawn 210 walks for a total of $10,500. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and a more active lifestyle. And here is J.J. Hardy, who was 1 for 1. His last at-bat, he singled. Maybe that'll be the one.
I have no doubts. And Jim Presley, and you were talking about it before the game. Jim Presley, the Oriole hitting instructor, saying, again, if you go into the All-Star break and you get out of this mini slump, what did Wade Boggs used to call it? Period of adjustment or readjustment, whatever you want. And he's already had 2 really good at-bats.
Well, it happens to every hitter. You just don't like to have it happen to several hitters at the same time, and unfortunately that's what's happened to the Orioles.
Well, that's why when you look at the Angels, they've all gotten hot over the last 32 games collectively. Now, again, everybody's pretty healthy on this ball club. Talking about the Angels and the Orioles. Reimold's out for the year. Markakis with a hamate bone injury, had to have it surgically removed. Oh, good fastball there and good late life. But Troy Hawkins is going to turn 40 in the fall, and you go back, when I first saw him, he was a starter. You go all the way back to 1995 when he first came to the big leagues as a starter, and then eventually evolved as a bullpenner. So again, going up to Toronto, this is about getting guys ready for that. Mike Scioscia out to make another pitching change.
So Hawkins leaves. Carpenter will come on as Mike Scioscia getting some work for his relievers. 1 out, nobody on in the 8th. 14th game against the Tigers has been moved from 7:05 to 4:05 to accommodate a Fox national television broadcast. And don't forget that July 14th game that marks the unveiling of the Jim Palmer sculpture as part of the Orioles Legend Series. Ceremonies will now begin at 2:15 on that day. The gates will open at 2. For your tickets, 888-848-BIRD, or visit Orioles.com, and coming out as we honor the Hall of Famer Jim Palmer.
Yeah, Earl Weaver and I got foxed.
That's right.
The Orioles will be at 2:15 this Saturday. So David Carpenter, not a lot of action. Just 2 of the last 16 contests. Last year, actually called them games, but that's what they're notes, contests. So working his way up through the minor leagues, and you can see again the numbers not that outstanding. Lefty's hitting him better, but again the arm angle is, it's almost like he's going to be like Darren O'Day, but maybe not that low.
Chris Davis, a good hack, and he fouls it straight back.
Yeah, I would imagine you would get a pretty good view, left-handers, because of the arm angle. And a lot of deception there for David Carpenter. But again, last year, 16 saves and an ERA. Of course, in Double-A and Inland Empire, their A-League out in California, he had an ERA of under a run a game.
Bouncer towards the middle. There's Romine. He throws, and he got him. Austin Romine shading that way, covered a lot of ground, and gets Davis for the second out. Davis 1 out of 4. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Orioles and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. Six in a row retired by the Angels. Robert Andino for his second at bat. He took over for Adam Jones in center field. So unusual to see Adam on the bench with a hoodie on. On this chilly night, he went back and got the sweatshirt. Buck Showalter resting his legs a little bit.
Buck's legs or Adam's legs?
Well, Buck may be resting his legs as well.
He's had those ongoing knee maladies.
Those are good looking sweatshirts, by the way.
You like those?
They're good looking. Andino, a high fly ball to center field. Borges waits for it.
Yeah, I can tell you they came in handy on that 17-inning game in Boston.
Because you got people that got you one. Adam Jones and the Birds trail as we head to the ninth. And by Dodge, see your authorized Dodge dealer and experience a world of performance, design, and fuel efficiency. Schedule a test drive or go to Dodge.com and check out our powerful lineup. 13-1, the Angels have the lead. 17 hits last night, 15 hits tonight. Matt Wieters getting a couple of innings off, watching from the bench. Adam Jones as well. Dana Evelyn stays on. Here's Bobby Wilson. First ball swinging, pokes it down the right field line, and that is a foul ball. Chris Davis couldn't catch up to it. Bounces in the crowd. Evelyn retired all 3 hitters he faced in the 8th. 6th pitcher used by the Orioles.
Well, he hasn't gotten 3 hits in a game all year long. 2 hits 3 times. Came in, as we mentioned, hitting 170.
Fly ball right center field. Davis, he'll call, and Dino lets him have it and puts it away. 1 away here in the 9th inning. Let's get an update on the voting for the AT&T Player of the Game, and Mike Trout winning the fans tonight, as he has a 3-hit night in RBI. He also robbed J.J. Hardy of a home run. Still time to text in your vote and have your voice heard, A, B, or C, to 31826, and Tom and Rick will have the results coming up on O's Extra Postgame.
Yeah, it's kind of when you look at the scoreboard and you see 13 runs, 15 hits, and it's hard to say that one catch really kind of set the tone, but it did. Because Weaver did not have a good first inning. Could have easily, if he doesn't catch that ball, been 1-0. Orioles could have scored another run, and you just never know. But what a great catch he made.
Adam Jones drove in the run in the first inning. Yeah, there were 3 consecutive balls hit very hard. The Davis base hit with 2 down after Hardy was robbed, and then the Jones double down the line. So not only did it deny the Orioles a run, it denied them another at bat because that was an out.
And you don't have too many opportunities against Jared Weaver to have somewhat bigger innings. Good changeup right there. Well, Dana Evelyn, when he keeps the ball down, he'll cut it in. And again, he's a typical left-hander, not a hard thrower. 89 to 91, about movement, about making good pitches. Again, Capuano of the Dodgers, Chris Capuano, he 3-1 the Angels just Saturday night.
This ball's blooped in the right field. There's another base hit for Trout. He's got a 4-hit night. 4 for 6.
Well, again, his style is occasional power, but make contact, and again, wreak havoc on the bases because of his ability to run, even though he'll be staying still with a 12-run lead.
And that pitch is low, taken by Torrey Hunter.
Yeah, how about when the Angels get up to Toronto and they have Brett Lowry? Similar player, 2 high-energy guys.
High fly ball right center field. Davis on the run, still going, circles back to it and makes the catch.
Yeah, Chris Davis actually, I was talking to him today. I said, you have acquitted yourself very nicely in right field. It really seems comfortable out there.
Wayne Kirby and Adam Jones, Wayne the outfield coach.
No, he's got a strong arm. For a big guy, he covers a lot of ground.
Here's Borges. That base hit by Trout, by the way, and the fly ball out by Torrey Hunter. So the top 2 hitters in the lineup, Trout and Hunter, 7 for 11 with a home run and 3 RBIs.
Table setters.
Well, and the Orioles in this game have 6 hits. Those 2 guys have 7. So they have had a night. Richie Bancels talking with Buck Showalter. Possibly an in-game medical update. And Nick Johnson left with a sore wrist.
Yeah, well, that is a big concern. Because you're already short of players, and hopefully it is not anything serious, even though Nick has had a history of wrist problems.
Both now talking with Matt Wieters. 1-2 on Borges. And it's low, 2-2, no advancement. Let's look back to that at bat. This is where we believe Nick injured the wrist.
Yeah, you can see the grimace right there. So, and then having to hold up or maybe not being able to generate it. It's hard to tell which wrist. I think last year it was maybe the right wrist.
I thought that's what they said tonight.
Yeah.
Ground ball to third. Bettamy quickly to second base to Roberts to get Trout. What a night Bettamy's having. And the inning ends. So here we go. Bottom of the ninth coming up. Orioles trail it 13-1.
Yards, and Rick, this has been really the worst effort for the Orioles all season.
Well, it really has, and not only this today, but the last 2 days, because the Angels come in here with 33 hits and 20 runs on the board so far. The Orioles are already down 12 going into the ninth. It looks like Jared Weaver's going to get his 8th win of the season.
I don't think there's any doubt about that, but we'll come back, review it. We'll hear Buck Showalter's comments and listen to what the players have to say on those extra post game after the bottom of the ninth. Let's go back to Jim and Jim.
All right, Tom and Rick, thanks so much. And here we go to the bottom of the ninth. David Carpenter stays on. And the Orioles will send Paulino up for an at-bat, then Bettamy and Reynolds. And we know that'll be the order because no one's left on the bench. Carpenter came on and got the final 2 outs in the 8th inning.
Yeah, if there would be any kind of injury to Paulino, you would have had Ryan Flaherty, who a lot of times will warm up pet catchers. He'd probably lose the DH and put him behind the plate.
And Paulino swings through it. Ronnie 1 for 5 on the homestand. Not starting tonight, so he has only started twice now in the last 17 games. There's a bouncer towards the middle. Romine gloves, throws on the run, and he got him.
Boy, do they have some quickness in their infield. Ibar running all over the place. Now Romine. All you had to do is see him run to first base. He almost beat out a routine ground ball, a couple of hops to third. And he made that play look easy.
Wilson Bettame's had a good night. Extends his hitting streak to 7 in a row. He is 2 out of 3. And it's low.
Oh, there you go. And he's gotten some key hits for the Orioles. I mean, you go back early in the year, Jim. I mean, he beat Oliver with a 2-run single, the left-hander, in Toronto, tied up a game the next night. They were down to what? I think maybe they're 1 out in the 9th, homered off of Casey Jansen. Orioles would win that game. So a lot of big hits. Walk off here on a home run on a Sunday afternoon.
Rips it foul behind Wayne Kirby. Weaver 6 2/3. It's his game to win. Hawkins 2/3. Now Carpenter has pitched an inning for Mike Scioscia. And a foul back, and it's 2-2. Orioles welcoming the Indians tomorrow for 4. And then after Sunday's game, they head out west, and that's a tough way to end the first half. The long flight after the game on Sunday to Seattle. 2 night games and a day game there, and then from there to Anaheim, 4 against the Angels. And on the West Coast, of the 7 games, 5 of those games are night games starting at after 10 o'clock Eastern time, so those body clocks will be tested over the week.
Yes, they will.
Tough way to head into the break. Bouncer towards the middle, and there's another base hit for Betemit. He has a 3-hit night.
Hit them where there ain't. Yeah, I was looking at, as we go to Seattle, and that'll be on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoon. And right there, I mean, it just goes out. That's what's been a strike all night long with this large strike zone. So he just goes, I'll go hit it. And he does. Infield is quickened up here, but Ichiro got his 2500th hit in his 11th season. And the only guys that did it quicker are Al Simmons, Ty Cobb, and then George Sisler.
Wow.
Yeah, those are some pretty impressive. All the guys who played in the dead ball era. Of course, he did break Sisler's all-time hit record in 1 year.
Right.
With 262 hits. I think Sisler had 257.
0-1 on Reynolds. Betemit at first with 2 down. Or excuse me, 1 down.
Ichiro is going to be the first Asian Hall of Famer.
Yep. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. He has been fabulous from the day he showed up. Of course, he came with a track record, proven in Japan. Reynolds swings through it. Betemit will take second because they let him have it.
He had 200 or more hits. Last year was the first year in his 11th year. All gold gloves. And I thought Brady Anderson said it best. He said nobody could do that, what he did. Come from another culture. Even if you hit 300 every year there, so still get it done.
That is swept to third, a fair ball. Cayasco will get it across in time. Betemit moves up 90 feet. He's at third with 2 men down. Betemit conversing with Cayasco.
Yeah, Alberto had a nice night. Well, it's hard to look down this lineup and not see somebody that got some hits.
It's very busy.
Yes, it is. Well, the scoreboard's even busier, unfortunately.
Here's Ryan Flaherty. High fly ball center field. Borges on the run way out there, reaches up and makes the catch, and that's how the ball game ends. Another fine defensive play by the speedy Angels team. Wow. So the Orioles in the 9th get a hit and 1 left, and the Angels come in here to Camden Yards and sweep this 2-game series. Please join us again tomorrow. More O's action. Game 1 of the 4-game series against the Indians. It'll be Wei-Yin Chen against Zach McAllister. Coverage begins at 6:30 with O's Extra on Masson 2, presented by Jeep, and then game action at 7 o'clock. And now for Jim Palmer and our entire hardworking crew, Jim Hunter saying so long from Camden Yards, where the Angels win it by a final of 13-1. Tonight's telecast and Masson presentation, Tom and Rick. O's Extra comes your way right now. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.